first off, I wanted to basically throw our predictions down for what we think the 2000 what we're gonna throw our predictions down for what the Rotten Tomatoes scores will be for the movies that are coming out in 2016. The big ones, mainly comic book ones, because I have no opinion of the Warcraft one or things like that. I have no opinion on. I couldn't tell you how good it's going to be, but since Temp and I both have opinions on the comic book movies that are coming out, it would be fun to kind of give our initial impression, because most of them have trailers. But even if they don't, like the Doctor Strange, it'd be fun to just throw down a number. And basically, we're just going to predict within or after 1 week of being released, which most of the reviews will be out by then, what we think the Rotten Tomatoes critic score is going to be, because that's the only one we can really judge. So starting off, we have Deadpool, which comes out February 14th, I believe. I should pull up a list here. But
yeah, it's soon. It's definitely on the horizon.
Right. What would your prediction for Deadpool's Rotten Tomatoes score be?
I'm going to say 55%.
55? Ooh.
For Deadpool, definitely. Here's my rationale. Number one, the studio is Fox, and they just came out of the shit mine that is the Fantastic Four. They just crawled out of that. Their faces are all covered in muck, and the second problem, or I don't want to call them problems. I feel like they're factors. Second factor being that this movie was in production hell for so long. So my question is, what was the philosophy or vision behind Deadpool? And how many times did it change? How many fingerprints have been on this movie? I think historically, when movies are in development hell for so long, you rarely get something great. I know there's been a recent exception to that. There's been a movie that was in development hell forever. And then when it finally came out, I was like, oh, that wasn't too bad. So,
Mad Max, maybe?
That's a fantastic example.
That was trying to be made several times over the past, 15 years.
There were some counter factors to that, though. The first one being that the original director, still on board, still at the helm. I think that would have gotten such a different movie. I mean, day and night of a different movie had he not been behind the wheel of that movie. The third factor for Deadpool is just... I don't know who the director is, to be honest with you, but it's just what's the vision behind this movie? What was their idea of a good Deadpool movie going in? Because, with Fantastic Four, they had this very, I guess, Cronenberg is what everyone's been saying, this Cronenberg vision of a Fantastic Four film. I don't really feel like there's a stable baseline for Deadpool. He's kind of a joke at this point, to be honest with you. So is it going to be a straight comedy? Is there going to be a real human conflict? I just don't know what they're going for. So there's a lot of unknowns, but it could be good. If Ryan Reynolds is hilarious, and he's hilarious for the whole running time, or at least consistently funny throughout the jokes of the running time, I think it's going to be fine. I think people are going to love it, but we'll see. How about you? What do you think?
See, I think I mentioned part of this on the Netherkast. To me, I'm just a little Deadpooled out. I mean, Deadpool's been on the top. He's been in the... He really gained in popularity over the last decade, and I think it started around Marvel vs. Capcom 3. I mean, it was a little bit before that, but that was about the time. And he was also in Marvel Ultimate Alliance 1 and 2, which also helped, and he just really jumped up in popularity like crazy, to the point where everybody's cosplaying as him. You constantly have Deadpool memes everywhere, and just he's become a very casual fan's favorite superhero, because that's not a knock. I feel like casual in the fighting game community or video gaming in general, I feel like casual gets a bad rap as casuals are just as important as anybody else. They have a say. It's not like them liking something is necessarily a bad thing. Anyways, my point is, he's been kind of oversaturated to a degree, and I feel like this movie's maybe 3 years too late. I'm glad it's being done, but I feel like it's 3 years past the striking while the iron is hot phase, and it's not like I'm not. I will see it. I know uh, my friends and my family and stuff want to go see it, and I'll definitely go see it. And it looks funny, and Ryan Reynolds looks like a perfect Deadpool, and I admire his commitment to getting it done, getting the movie done. He was a big driving force behind it, and he's a big fan of the character. So I'm hoping it's done well, and I'm not necessarily. Fox with X-Men have had really good movies, and really, I mean, they've had some misses as well. But so I'm not completely pessimistic about. I'm open-minded of it being good. It's just for me, it's probably my least excited superhero movie coming up this year, or comic book movie. Which a lot of people, it seems like it's their most excited. But I mean, that's the thing. But to me, discussing, you were talking about whether it's going to be comedy or what, like, what's the focus going into it? What's the story that's going to be being told? Is it just purely going to be made for comedy's sake? I think it's going to have a lot of action, a lot of comedy, a lot of crude, risque humor. But yeah, I think if it's going to be lacking anywhere, it's probably going to be the story department. It's going to lack the reason to care about the character other than a few, laughs here and there and yada, yada, yada. But I don't know. I'm just... To me, it's definitely the one that I have the least hopes for, but I also think the fact that it's purely comedy and action and rated R, I feel like they're going to get a lot of people... They're going to get a lot of love from people that enjoy that type of,
It's got an extremely broad appeal.
It's got a broad appeal. It's kind of lowbrow to a point, and that's not like a knock on it either. There's nothing wrong with slapstick, lowbrow humor. I'm just thinking it's going to have very... with its rated R nature, it's going to have a lot of crude humor, but it's also going to have a lot of potty humor. It's going to have... I mean, they've already shown that in the trailers, like... He wears the red suit to hide when he bleeds, and he's like, that's why the guy wore the brown pants. That's like, I mean, that's kind of funny. It makes me smirk, but I mean, that's also like, it's a poop joke. Like, I mean, come on.
Like, it's a fun poop joke.
Right, right. It is fun.
It works because you really believe Deadpool means it when he says it. So that's really all it takes, to be honest with you. I worry about a lack of substance, but like I said, if the movie's funny, I'll forgive everything.
Yeah. And I think at the end of the day, I think if there's two things you can guarantee this movie will be, it's gonna be fun, and it's gonna be funny. Whether the story's there, or anything like that, whether the plot itself or the story is really that great, is up in the air, and that's probably where it's gonna struggle most. But it's gonna be a fun movie to watch, and it's definitely gonna be funny. So for that reason alone, I could see it getting... I'm thinking 65%.
I mean, possibly. I mean, it's not even just the X-Men movies. It's not even just Fantastic Four. Remember, Fox also, I believe they were also the studio for Green Lantern. So the bigwigs at Fox are just very, I think, disconnected from what makes a good comic book movie and what the audiences really want. So I think this is an easy project for them. I don't think they need to aim that high. One thing that already kind of bothers me about it is I wish the movie would take itself just a little bit more seriously. I didn't like the fact that we see what he looks like without the mask in the trailer. That kind of rubbed me the wrong way. That should have been like a reveal. But it's like it doesn't even matter what he looks like behind the mask, and that makes me already go into the movie not caring or being as invested as I could be, because if they're not invested, why the fuck should I be invested? But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe the story will be very substantial. Maybe it'll be another Ant-Man, but I'm definitely not... I'm rooting for it. I'm not betting on it.
Right. Yeah, I see what you're saying there. So,
well, what was your score then? What was your...
I said 65. Oh, 65. 16. 16%. No.
From the studio of Fox. Yeah, no, I think
it'll get 65, because I think overall it will get favorable reviews just for the comedy and fun aspect of the character. It's wide appealing, like you said, and it's just something that I think, unless you're a snobby critic, I think this is something you're just going to overall enjoy, but it's not going to be something it's not going to receive rave reviews, because, I like I said, like we both kind of are saying, is that the story probably won't be there, so it's going to rely heavily on just being fun action, fun comedy, and that's it. Which can make a good movie, but it's going to need a little bit more substance to break past like 70%, in my opinion.
I mean, the only director who really has a license to be extremely violent and still get critical applaud is Tarantino. No other
Yeah.
director, at least that I can think of, has pulled it off. No one's coming to mind, at least.
Right.
Maybe Spielberg with like Saving Private Ryan, but I mean
Yeah.
that not consistently. That I think was an isolated exception. But yeah.
All right, next up we got, I don't know if this calendar is accurate, but if it is, then it's March 25th, because I mean, I know Batman vs. Superman's been tossed around a couple days. But March 20, according to this calendar, March 25th, Dawn of Justice. So I know this is something we're probably going to probably disagree the most about on this list, but or at least our initial impressions definitely differ.
Well, I'll let you take a stab first then, because I actually don't think we're going to disagree much on this. But go on.
Well, to me, I think it looks good. I do think it looks good, and I do think it's going to rate well. I think it's going to rate highly. Because, I mean, even if I think back to Man of Steel got decent ratings critically. I think it got 7 to 9s across the board on most places. I mean, most notable places. Obviously, there's going to be people that rate it low and rate it 100 out, 10 out of 10. Some that rate it, 2 out of 10. But overall, I think it got favorable reviews, even with certain criticisms. And I think this is going to be no different. I think Ben Affleck as Batman's going to be really good. I'm really looking forward to it. I think the trailers look really good. The only thing about it that I'm not so sure about is, and I'm still kind of scratching my head over, is Jesse Eisenberg as Lex Luthor. He's the only part of these trailers that, yeah, Doomsday looks a little funky, and I completely agree. He looks like an angry Ninja Turtle, or just, but at the same time, and whether they needed Doomsday or not is up for debate. I'll wait for the movie to kind of make that a judgment, and whether they should have revealed him in the trailers, I don't know. It's been rumored for a long time, so to me, it's just kind of like, here it is. But at the same point, I remember we talked about how they kind of showed the 3-act structure already. You kind of see how the movie's going to play out just based on the trailer alone. But for me personally, it's like I'm going to watch this just to see Batman and Superman interact on the same screen for the first time ever, and to see Wonder Woman on the screen, like in this capacity for the first time ever, and to see the Justice League form for the first time ever. So there's just like a lot of first times that DC are doing that to me is already getting me excited, already making me want to see this movie, whether I know the storyline going into it or not. Doesn't really matter much to me. I mean, it would help if I didn't, and there could always be some twists and turns that we don't know. Just because Doomsday's in there doesn't mean that they necessarily defeat him. He could definitely leave and be saved for another day. Who knows? But just based on the quality, though, I got a little nitpicks. I'm hoping for more color and brightness when Superman's on screen, which Zack Snyder struggles with because he wants to kind of desaturate everything and make it look darker and grittier. I think Superman should be bright and colorful, and Batman should be the dark and brooding, and they should have a nice contrast throughout the movie, kind of like the Dark Knight Returns comic book. I think if they did that, that would be really cool. But based on the trailers, it looks a little bit more colorful than Man of Steel, but not like a huge difference. But overall, the acting looks really good, and like I said, Ben Affleck as Batman to me looks really, really good. I think he could easily be in contention for one of the best Batmans on screen in that capacity. He looks the part. He looks more like Bruce Wayne than anybody else does, in my opinion. And I think he's a fan of Batman, and he even showed his hesitation on taking the role because he thought, what else can you do with this character? After everything everybody else has done so well, what else is to be like? He didn't want to take on that burden, so to speak. But after he saw what they were doing with him, doing the older, more grizzled veteran Batman, he was really on board. Love the outfit. Overall, I'd say it's going to probably get an 82%. That seems about fair.
Interesting. I guess I'll agree with that score. I was going to say somewhere between 80 and 87% on Rotten Tomatoes. I thought I was going to get a pretty good score. To really talk about why this movie looks like it's going to be better, I got to talk about what didn't work with Man of Steel, at least very briefly. Just People complain about a lot of shit in that movie. The destruction is a big one. I actually do not care about the destruction. My problem with the movie was the pacing, the editing. I have big problems with the editing, but just the character. They didn't let the characters breathe. We get to meet Clark when he's a kid, and they developed the kid very well. But when he's an adult, everything that comes out of his mouth is fucking exposition. Like, the most interesting scene in the movie is when he's watching football and drinking a beer. That's the most. I'm like, okay, so this is cool. We're actually meeting Superman, and then something blows the fuck up, and it's all over, and we're back to exposition mode. That's why I hated the movie. And also, I don't really hate the movie. I would say, from a quality standpoint, it's like a 4.5 out of 10, which is not really that bad. Like, a 5 is a pass, in my opinion.
Yeah,
I hate it. Yeah. My hatred comes from the fact that this movie had a very important job and it failed. That's really why I'm frustrated with it. I feel like that movie really needed to be amazing, and it wasn't even close. That's why I get frustrated with it. And there's little things that bother me, like I feel like the chemistry between Superman and Lois was very weak because they're just in exposition mode the whole movie. So at the end of the movie, when literally Metropolis is in ashes and they just kiss in front of the destruction and ruin and just, I'm like, oh, it just out of nowhere they just kiss, and there's so much like fire and death in the background. I'm like, this is the most ugly, off-putting thing I've ever seen in my life. So why do I think this one's gonna be better? Well, for one thing, it's not just Superman and Batman, it's Clark Kent and Bruce Wayne. And we've already seen in the trailer they do interact, they do spend time with each other. We're gonna have Batman talking to Alfred, we're going to have Superman talking to Lois, and they're going to have reactions to things. It's not just going to be explanations. They're going to react to things that happen around them, and there was none of that in Man of Steel. There was no reacting. There was just constant, get the plot going, explain this, show that. I think they're actually going to talk about their feelings. That's all I ever fucking wanted from Man of Steel. So that looks a lot better. I'm very worried about the pacing. I feel like the problems with the pacing in Man of Steel are unfortunately going to carry over to this movie. Remember, that's the Rotten Tomatoes prediction. That it's not my prediction for how much I'm going to like the movie. I think I'm going to like it better than Man of Steel. I still don't think it's going to go over the mark. I still think it's going to fall short, just because there's so much shit going around. There's so many characters, and nothing in Snyder's filmography has convinced me that he's capable of handling anything like this. Watchmen probably was the closest. So Watchmen I thought was okay. That didn't sound good at all. I thought Watchmen was decent. It didn't blow me away, but I thought it worked. I thought that was probably the only time where he was able to balance all these characters, but he was copying and pasting a lot from the source material. Right. He kind of had a roadmap. So now that he doesn't have that, how is he going to perform as a director? Or I don't know who's involved in the writing. I don't know if it's Goyer or if Snyder's in the mix as well, but yeah, I'm really worried about the pacing. That's a big concern for me. I was so bored during Man of Steel. I cannot believe how boring that movie was, considering what was going on screen, and that's a big concern for me. But I think there's a lot of people who know this movie has to be good, and I feel like they're taking a lot of precautions. So I think they're going to make a movie that, at the very least, is going to please general audiences. Because if everyone gives it a 6 out of 10, that's a 100% rating on Rotten Tomatoes. So that's an excellent score. I don't see this movie getting any 8s or 9s, but I think everyone's going to be satisfied with it, bringing me to the 80 to 87%. I don't think anyone's going to hate this movie because they're too cautious about it now. They can't. I think even Man of Steel, I think it got like a 58% on Rotten Tomatoes, but it got higher scores on things like Metacritic. I mean, I'd have to check again, but I don't think they're going to make a complete dud. So we'll see. I don't want it to fail. I don't want to pay money and be disappointed. That is never a good feeling. I don't know, but I'm definitely not excited. Like, I'm not looking forward to it. Like, there are movies I'm looking forward to. This is not one of them. I just want it to be good, and I wasn't really looking forward to Star Wars, and I thought it was decent.
Yeah, Man of Steel got 56.
That's actually kind of surprising, to be honest with you. I would have. I mean, I knew it was in that region, but even after I saw the movie, I wasn't expecting people to agree with me. Like, it's always weird because usually I'm the cynical one. So when I hear other people say the things I'm thinking, I'm like, oh, maybe I'm not crazy. I don't know.
All right, well, let's see. Next up, we got Captain America: Civil War. You will never. Hello, it's me, Trevor. Anyways, Captain America: Civil War. Captain America for me is my favorite Avenger. I love his individual movies the most. I love just the story of the character. I mean, being a 5'10", 5'11", 180 pounds ish. Like I always grew up kind of skinny. I'm not super tall. I'm not super short either, but I'm just average build. It's like to me, I was always. You can relate to a dude that's like, he's got a lot of courage, a lot of heart, a lot of passion. He just wants to help, but at the same time, he's not built for the military. He's not a superhero in a lot of ways, but he has the courage and, stuff like that a superhero entails, and I admire that aspect of him. So I really I really connect to the character in that fashion. I really like that character for that reason. And that's why I prefer him over, your Iron Mans and stuff like that, is because I think there's a lot to love with the character. There's a lot to sympathize. There's a lot to connect. He's in a lot of ways just a normal human, just a normal dude, but he got the superhero, the super soldier serum. So he's got that going for him. But I mean, he's like Batman in the sense that he wasn't born with these powers. He wasn't, he kind of, well, I guess Batman was born smart or whatever the hell. Either way, I'm getting off point. But
well, there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, when it comes to the movies are really well done. I love the first one quite a bit, and the second one, in my opinion, was that much better. It was just even better. One of my favorite, if not my favorite, Marvel Studios movie thus far. It's between that and Guardians of the Galaxy. But yeah, I really enjoy the Captain America movies. Now, they're doing something different here where they're including other Marvel characters, which I don't know how I feel. I mean, I know the storyline in the comics. I know how it plays out, and they're kind of limited. Well, they're very limited. They don't have the Fantastic Four. They don't have the X-Men. They don't have a lot of people introduced yet. They're not including the likes of Daredevil from the Netflix show or anything like that, which I feel is a missed opportunity. But maybe it was just too soon after type of thing to get all their ducks in a row in that regard. But so it's kind of odd that how they're going to pull this off. And the trailer makes it look like they're not necessarily sticking just to Civil War. They're doing kind of the storyline, the trial of like Bucky Barnes and how that storyline plays out. Everyone blaming the Winter Soldier and all that kind of crap and wanting to take him out type of thing. And it's like, so I'm not really sure what this movie's about and how exactly they're doing a Civil War, unless it strictly is about the Winter Soldier, which if it's Cap's side believes Bucky or Winter Soldier should be forgiven or whatever, shouldn't go to jail or what, I don't know. I'm still a little confused. Maybe you can clear that up. What exactly is the Civil War point of this movie? Has that been shown?
From what I understand, there's the guy from the Hulk. I think William Hurt is the actor's name.
Right.
He's trying to take government action to restrict the liberties of superheroes. That's pure inference on my end. I have no idea if that's true, but that's the vibe I get. And I assume they're making an example out of the Winter Soldier because while the other ones are considered vigilantes, the Winter Soldier is a straight-up criminal in the eyes of the government. So he's not going to get his liberties restricted. They're probably just going to kill the fuck out of him.
But he's Cap's friend.
Exactly. But he's Cap's friend. That's my best explanation. They're super vague, but
yeah, I mean, I guess there has only been one trailer, and it was more just kind of show me.
I hope it's the only trailer. I don't need another trailer. This trailer is perfect.
No,
I don't think
agree
just
with
stop.
I agree with you. They often release way too much for these types of movies. Like Avengers got like 90, I think, TV spots. That's only a slight over. That's only a slight over exaggeration. But no, it's just they put out way too many, and The Dark Knight and all those types of movies are just as guilty. They always love to just spam the crap out of trailers and put out way too many. And of course I watch them all, except for with Avengers. I kind of avoided most of the TV spots because after you see the first two trailers, you don't need to see anything else. There's really nothing. You could see one trailer and you could not even see a trailer and have a general idea that you're gonna want to see it anyways. It's a continuation of the story that we're all interested in with
Well, the TV
characters.
spots were useless anyway. I mean, I didn't see them all, but it was really more of the same. We didn't get a whole lot of substance in the additional.
Right.
I mean, because they can't show Vision, which is kind of weird. I don't know why they can't show Vision. It's kind of weird that they were so secretive about Vision. I don't know why that was this big secret. He was on the cup that I bought for my drink when I was in the theater, so I don't know why he was some big fucking secret. But yeah,
I remember
you're
you disappointed by that.
No, that was horrible. I didn't want to see him, but that was a me thing. I didn't think Marvel would be thinking, because he's not like a twist or anything. But
right.
I don't know.
But yeah, no, the trailer looks good. I'm happy they're introducing Black Panther. I think that's really cool. I just don't know how I feel about including everybody else in my Captain America movie. It's kind of like the old, your peanut butter's in my chocolate. Like, I love peanut butter, I love chocolate, I love when they're combined, but I don't know if I wanted that for this, because I love Captain America movies. I love him getting the focus. Throw in, like, Black Widow and stuff like that. You can even throw in Falcon, whatever. That makes sense, cool, they make a good team. But I don't know if I wanted 8 other superheroes in here, because I'm a little afraid of Cap not getting the spotlight he deserves. But on that note, it is the same people that did Captain America 2, if I'm not mistaken. The
Russo brothers.
Yeah, the Russo brothers, and they're going to do the Avengers 3 and that whole thing.
And the Avengers 3 Part 2.
Right. Exactly, which gives me more faith in that, but hopefully with that being the case, they give Captain America a little bit more love, because I feel like Iron Man is kind of like the currently in the first 2 Avengers, he was the one that received the most love, which is, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, we're talking like a minor difference, because I mean, everybody got a lot in each of those movies, so I can't really complain. But I feel like the fan love for Robert Downey Jr. and Iron Man, which there's nothing wrong with that. I like Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man. He's enjoyable. He's fun. Iron Man 1 was a fun movie. But yeah, I feel like he gets maybe now that the Russo brothers, since they're tied to Captain America, they'll give him a little bit more.
Oh no, I'm sure.
They'll give him like one extra chicken nugget, like...
Well, I don't think it's gonna be chocolate and peanut butter. The problem with chocolate and peanut butter is when you mix them together, all I taste is peanut butter. Like when I eat a Reese's, I don't taste any chocolate.
Which is what I was afraid of. Yeah. That's what I'm saying is.
Yeah.
Captain America is the chocolate, and peanut butter would essentially be the rest of the Avengers. And once you throw them all in there, I'm just gonna feel like this is an Avengers movie. But I don't think
they'll be the reverse. I think it's gonna be like, hey kids, here's Hawkeye, and then it's gonna be back to Cap and Iron Man just fucking
right
doing their thing.
Yeah,
it's
you're
more
probably
like
right.
Strawberry jam and peanut butter, because that mixes a lot better in my opinion. Like,
yeah, you're probably right, and I have full faith in these guys. Captain America 2 was, like I said, fantastic movie, and I don't think they're going to drop the ball here. I think overall, if I'd had to guess, which we do, because that's the thing, predict the score, I'm going to say 88% for this one.
I am going to only ever so slightly disagree. I think it's going to be 90 minimum. I don't know how much. I don't think it's going to breach 95%. But I think it's going to be solid 90%. God, there's just too much going for it. The Russo brothers, their talent has been so proven by this point. We have 2 very good performers. Chris Evans and Robert Downey Jr. are so practiced at these roles. And I think the emotional caliber is going to be huge. And I think there's sort of a drought of movies like this, and we have we have an ocean of romantic movies, and love stories. We don't have a lot of good stories about friendship, and I think there's a real deficit of that. So I really like the idea that they're taking kind of like a bromosexual approach to the Winter Soldier. I think that's very interesting, I like seeing people want to help and sympathize and defend their friends. There's not enough of that, I think. Right. Even Marvel movies, I don't think there's a lot of that. So yeah, and I think Robert Downey Jr., since he's already so established as, as a as one of the good guys, it'll be interesting to see him as a very emotional gray antagonist. I think people are going to really latch on to that because in the trailer, you're so convinced that this is a deeply hurt individual, very hurt, very spiteful, very vindictive, but there's a sadness to it, and I think they're going to take that as far as they can. And yeah, I think this is just, fucking, they're going to be printing money with this movie. I don't think I think it can't fail. It almost can't fail. They would have to pull something like The Mandarin to make it fail, in my opinion. So I don't know. I mean, God, the Russo brothers, I don't know what else they've done, but with Marvel, they've just been hitting home runs back and forth.
What else have they done other than Captain America 2?
I have no clue. Let's find out, sir. I am going to...
You said home runs back and forth, so I was assuming there's at least 2.
With the Winter Soldier and also the Winter Soldier.
Okay.
Winter Soldier Wiki. Let's see. No, that's the comic. Okay, here we go. Clicking. Anthony Russo and Joe Russo filmography. Yeah, they haven't done shit.
Okay.
But they did Ant-Man, which was really good.
Oh, they did do Ant-Man. Okay. I haven't seen that yet, but yeah, everyone's talking about how good it is, so...
I like it a lot. I think it's I think the comedy is really what
right. I mean,
bumps that movie up to the next level.
I expected so, yeah. All right.
Yeah, well, very good. Great stuff all around. I'm kind of surprised that.
I mean, you might be right. Yeah, it might be 90 minimum. Rotten Tomatoes is not something I usually don't use Rotten Tomatoes. I use Metacritic type of thing. But so I'm not as familiar with how they grade things and how the whole process works.
It's
I'm
all
just
pass or
basing
fail.
Off of, yeah.
So if it's a pass, fresh. If it's a fail, rotten. So
and
they
how many
average
critics? They have like 30 something, right?
Exactly. So everyone can give the movie can get consistently 5.5 across the board, and it'll be certified fresh.
Right. Yeah, you might be right. You're probably right on that, but I'll stick with 88. Just or what'd you say? 90 minimum? Did you give an actual number?
I'm going to say 92%.
92?
Yeah, I don't think it'll make it past 95 just because I think we're getting to the point where people are fatigued with comic book movies. And unfortunately, we're in the very, very, very early stages of it.
Right.
But we're definitely getting there. That is on the horizon. So I think there's a cap to how good a comic book movie can be, no pun intended. We'll see, though.
I see what you did there.
I know. It was pretty smart.
All right, next up we got X-Men Apocalypse. You want to take this one?
We know so little about it. I mean, I'm sure there's more information out there. I don't really research movies. I really try to go strictly by the trailer. Apocalypse does look a lot better now that I've seen him in motion. He does look a lot. He feels a lot more like classic Apocalypse. This movie has all the same advantages of Winter Soldier, where we have actors who are very practiced at their role and they're all good performers.
Right.
Oscar Isaac just came off of Star Wars, and now he's Apocalypse, so people are going in with a very positive mindset on this guy, even though I didn't fucking know it was Oscar Isaac till recently. But God, I don't know. Days of Future Past was such an anomaly. Because that movie was so good, and I don't know why. Fox, I don't think, is a particularly great studio, so I'm not really clear why. And I would have to revisit First Class. I have not actually sat down and watched it from beginning to end. I remember thinking it was okay. Like, it was fun. I thought, it was incredibly serviceable, but...
Yeah, I loved it, yeah.
But now, I mean, we're dealing with Psylocke, a young Nightcrawler, young Jean Grey, who for some reason looks way more Irish than old Jean Grey. Like, way more Irish. Like, she looks like she was river dancing and then came onto the set of the movie, like, super, super redhead, super ginger. Not a criticism, that's cool. Nothing wrong with that, but, I think it's going to be ass. I don't think it's going to be good. Which is, I don't want it to be ass, but I can't think of a single reason why this would be good, because I don't know why Days of Future Past works so well, other than the studio knows why people like Wolverine, and they just milked the shit out of that and made an amazing movie. I think that must have been what happened, but we can't do that again. So I'm going to say 58%.
58.
On Rotten Tomatoes. Yep.
Oh, and I looked up, while you were talking, I looked up Captain America the Winter Soldier to see what it got. And it got, what would you guess it got?
85, I imagine.
Winter Soldier? It got 89.
Okay, well, that makes absolute sense. I could totally see that.
Let's see. You said 58 for...
That's my projection, at least. I have a feeling I'll probably like personally give it a way lower score than that, but we'll see. Like I said, I want to like it, but fucking Fox Studios, dude.
I'd say I'm definitely looking forward to it. I loved First Class. I love Days of Future Past. So to me, I love the actors. I love the storytelling, and although I wish they would have stuck with Days of Future Past and just kept going with, or not Days of Future Past, I wish they would just stuck with First Class and just kept going with that, which is what this kind of is, because it's ditching the older actors and having both of them be a part of it and going back to the Days of Future Past, but at the same time it's directed by Bryan Singer, which, I mean, I prefer the person that did First Class. I thought that was really well managed. Once again, I like Wolverine, but I liked, for once, the focus on everybody else instead. So I just really love the way First Class was told. I thought at the time, I thought it was the best X-Men movie to date, and Days of Future Past surpassed that. So, and that's not to say I don't like the old X-Men movies. I really like the old X-Men movies. 2 being a favorite, obviously, as most people would say, but anyways, I'm looking forward to Apocalypse. Nightcrawler being my favorite X-Men, and Cyclops being not too far behind. It's going to be nice seeing them again, hopefully in a much better capacity than they were ever previously, because Nightcrawler is kind of underutilized throughout the movies, in my opinion, for being as popular as he is. And Cyclops just kind of got the shaft. He was literally kind of like Wolverine's bitch and a whiny prick the entire series, which I mean, a lot of times in the comics he is, but he also has he's got a lot of other interesting dynamics that they didn't really play up. So hopefully they start those kind of things and give them more time and more focus. But I don't know. But then there's Psylocke, Magneto's as great as always. You got Professor X going bald. You got Apocalypse for the very first time in a live action.
I'm sorry, Professor X going bald. I forgot that was a plot point.
Yeah, it's a thing. But no, it's just like those actors are so good at the role. You got Jennifer Lawrence as Mystique, which, you know, some people may be like not digging that she gets a lot more focus because she's the popular one. But I'm not as burnt out on Mystique as I like Mystique. Mystique's one of my favorite mutant characters in the X-Men series. So I like, in a lot of ways, I like her more than Wolverine, because just growing up, I liked Wolverine, but I was never, like I said, I was a Nightcrawler guy. I was into Colossus. I was into the more like flashy ones that you didn't see as often type of things, but and Magneto. But yeah, I think she's good, and I just overall I'm excited. I'm excited for Storm with a mohawk. I'm excited for, like I said, Psylocke for the first time in that regard. That's awesome. I really like Psylocke. So just overall, I'm hoping it does well. I think the trailer looks good, and I'm excited for it. And if it's anything remotely close to Days of Future Past, I'd say it gets a 78%.
That's a safe bet. I was debating 77% too, because if it is good, I feel like it's going to be in that margin for sure. I'm concerned about Mystique, though. I am one of the people who are kind of raising an eyebrow at the whole, because I'm not a comic book reader, so we may have grown up with very different Mystiques, but my Mystique is the one from the X-Men cartoon in the early 90s.
Yeah.
Very gray, not evil, but incredibly self-serving.
Right.
In which we did, for the most part, get that in Days of Future Past, which is a very spiteful, but well-intended, but is slowly becoming jaded to the ways of the world. Right. I don't think there's any room for that. I think they're going full protagonist with Mystique, and I don't know if we've ever seen that before. I don't know if I ever wanted to see that. I think what made Mystique interesting was the very ambiguous moral nature of her. So, we'll see. And I'm not Jennifer Lawrence out. I don't know.
Right.
I like her. I think she's great. I haven't seen
To follow up on
Mockingjay 1
that,
or 2, but yeah, go on.
I didn't. I should clarify. I wasn't like a huge Mystique fan growing up. My liking for Mystique has more come from these movies, so there's that. Like Days of Future, or not Days of First Class, I started to really like Mystique then, and in the old X-Men movies, she was cool. I always liked her, but I didn't start really liking her until Jennifer Lawrence's as her in her story, because they obviously changed it a little bit. Well, not a little bit. They changed it a lot from the comics. She wasn't, as far as I know, in the comics. She was not. She was not like Professor X's friend in the comics before going to the dark side or anything like that. As far as I know, I don't recall. I haven't read
thought she
every
would
X-Men.
have to be because the friendship in First Class felt so out of nowhere. I'm thinking this has to have source material.
I think it was just I think it was just a plot device for the movies, but I could be wrong. Like I said, I don't know so much about the early days of the X-Men in that regard. I grew up on the X-Men cartoons. I've read some more of the comics growing up, some of the big comics, the big story arcs, but yeah, I don't know anything about. I'm not as familiar with like the early First Class of X-Men, so in those days, pre-Wolverine to a degree. But
I
but
do.
no.
I am bothered, and this has been bothering me since 2001. But I like the comic book design of Mystique, where, well, in the movie, she's almost like an alien, where she's always naked. She has like pimples and grooves all over her body. When in the cartoon, she was kind of like a young blue Elizabeth Taylor, which I thought just aesthetically was way more pleasing. Way more pleasing.
The movies, they need to just give her blue paint, and I'd like to see her have blue paint, white pupils, like pure white eyes, and dress her in like the white garb that she wears in the comics.
Yeah.
She wears like the white sleeveless garb down, like it's like a dress almost looking thing.
She can wear clothes, so what's the problem? I don't get it.
Yeah, I don't understand it either. I don't like the way she looks in the movies.
She has that Al Capone haircut.
No. It needs to be non-slicked back. It needs to just be flowing. Have her dye her hair orange or whatever you got to do. Give her a wig. I don't care. Just make it look natural and have her wear white clothes. Smooth white or smooth blue skin. Don't give her all that weird ass deformity, weird shit that she's got going on. The bumps and all that. Like I don't get that either. That'd be my only complaint about how Mystique is portrayed in the movies. Anyways, you'd be surprised. What do you think the Days of Future Past Rotten Tomato rating is?
Well, that I researched. I want to say it got about 78%.
91.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so we might be. I might have to recant. We should have probably looked these up before we started making predictions.
No, let's keep it fresh. Let's improvise. Let's jam.
Because if we're making predictions, I'd at least like a basis on how these people like these movies.
No, we're going in raw. It's good. Let's do it.
78 seems a little low now, especially your 56. Or 58, I should say. Anyways, okay, so we got 58 and 78, I believe. Next up, we have Suicide Squad in August.
Shit, I forgot about that.
Oh,
we're going straight to Doctor Strange. Yeah, okay, well, I don't have much to say about this one. I'll let you hit it up first.
Okay, I know you're not much of a fan of it, and this one seems to be pretty much down the split, because I've seen a lot of people dislike it and I've seen a lot of people like it, so based on what they've seen, I should say, and I can see both reasonings from both sides of the fence, so it's hard to argue, but for me, I'm one of the people that like it. I love the way Harley Quinn looks. I love the way the Joker looks. I love the way he sounds. I think I was really skeptical. Believe me, I was one of the people that said the tattoos look absolutely dumb. His teeth having metal in them looks absolutely stupid. The damage written on his forehead especially is just incredibly dumb and un-Joker-like. And I was not digging it at all. But the trailer completely sold it to me. and also pictures from certain comics where Joker looked different. Joker's had tattoos in the comics. Joker's been done in so many different ways in the comics for as many years as he's been around. So there's been a different version of Joker for like every damn story. So having a Joker that has tattoos, that has metal teeth or whatever the hell that is, because at first I thought it was a grill, but when I actually saw it in the trailer, I think it's more his teeth got shattered by probably Batman, and they had to rebuild them with metal, and I think that's just part of the aesthetic. So with that in mind, that he's not just putting a grill on his teeth to for bling purposes and that kind of crap, which was really, when I thought that was the case, I was like, man, that looks really dumb, and that's really stupid for him to do something like that. But if he's gotten his teeth shattered, which I think is the case, because if you actually look at the details on his teeth, it's not just flat metal. It's metal that have like it's grooves in it that actually look like his teeth were made up to be like that. Like they were forged to be replacements or to be an addition to his teeth. Anyways, getting past just Joker's looks, I think he sounds great. I think Harley looks and sounds great. I think she even has certain aspects that kind of rang out the cartoon to me. The cartoon Harley, when she's in the car and she says, "I hope you have insurance." To me, that sounded very close to the Harley Quinn of the cartoons.
Definitely, I'll definitely agree on Harley.
Yeah, and she just looks perfect. She's more so the way her Suicide Squad version is, which is fitting, obviously, for this. But she looks perfect. Will Smith as Deadshot, I think, can work, and I think it's the star power that's probably needed for this, because you need a little bit of star power in there to get people in, even though Will Smith has kind of lost his drawing power by now, but because he's had a lot of stinkers over the last couple of years. But yeah, I think he had some nice star power, and I think the characters like Joker and Harley will bring a lot of attention to it, especially. And they're going to market more Batman aspects to it. But I should probably delve into the trailer itself beyond just those two characters and whatnot. But
well, is anyone else really focused on? Like, they're kind of the stars of the trailer.
But you have Amanda Waller, who I think looks really good for the character. The actress they picked for her, even though she's not like a bigger lady, which Amanda Waller was originally in the comics. Now she's more slimmed down, but
I don't know the actress or the character. I don't know who that is.
She looks the part. She definitely looks the part. She sounds the part. She just has a way of talking and representing herself in that small little snippet, like when they're saying, "But they're bad guys," and she goes, "Exactly, immediate deniability. If they, if things go wrong, we deny everything and we blame it on them, because they're the scapegoats. They're the patsies, whatever you want to call it, the Suicide Squad, yada yada yada." The way she said that just, to me, rang to what that character should sound like from the cartoons, the animated series, etc., and the Assault on Arkham animated movie that they released like a year ago, 2 years ago, which was based on the Suicide Squad. To me, it was a perfect representation of the character. I couldn't ask for more. And moving on from her, just the overall tone of this movie seems perfect from the trailer. Obviously, we've only had that one trailer, so there's only so much to go by here, but I just felt like the tone of what this should be, a lot of humor, very dark, very gritty, very hopefully violent. It should be different than some other things. Obviously, it's dark and gritty, which DC kind of has done, but it needs to be violent. It needs to be crude. It needs to have cursing. It needs to have very dark tones to it. It needs to have very adult themes to it, and it needs to have some good humor to it, because that's what that's what Harley's about. Obviously, that's what Joker does. But Harley, more than anything, needs to bring the humor to this group that's otherwise pretty serious. It's a very serious cast of characters that take things very seriously and are very to the core type people. But no,
which is kind of why I'm not looking forward to it, to be honest with you. I don't know. Maybe just see. Okay, I like the Chris Nolan films, but I've had a lot of grit in the last 10 years, dude. more than a little bit. So I definitely don't need to quench this thirst of grit. Like, that's why Harley's the only thing that screams out to me. And she's the only thing in the movie that really makes me feel like I'm looking at an adaptation of a comic book. Everything else, dude, like, and Will Smith isn't part of that unfortunate category of actors where I see the actor before I see the character. He's like a Tom Cruise
Right.
or a fucking Tom. I don't fucking know. Anyway, so yeah, he's one of those actors, and he's really talented. But yeah, I don't know. I'm sorry. Continue.
Um, the only things left I had to say was the humor and the fun aspect. This movie looks like it's going to be a lot of fun more than anything, and that's what I'm excited about. And like, just for an example, when you see them going through, you see a giant panda or whatever it was. I don't know. It's been a while since I've seen the trailer, but somebody's in a giant like panda suit, like a giant like furry almost panda suit, or a mascot like panda suit, and they're walking around with a gun and they're shooting in the building that they're breaking into or whatever. And then and then it goes to another shot where somebody has a Batman ski mask on. Like, that's the kind of fun aspects we need in this film. We need little silliness like that. Like somebody in a giant panda suit with a gun and somebody wearing a Batman ski mask type of stuff. Like, that's cool. You don't get that in these types of movies usually.
There's a freedom to it.
Yeah.
There's definitely a different palette to use.
It's not something that's been done before. I mean, we haven't had a villain-led movie.
That's another thing I'm kind of scratching my head out. Like, I can't tell what angle they're going to take with the cast. Like, are they going to kind of, like, keep the villain thing going? Or are they going to be, like, kind of like the unsung heroes, or sort of like the, I don't know, the fucking...
I hope they take the Assault on Arkham animated movie and just put that on film. If they did that, I would be perfectly happy, because that animated film was great. It was perfect. It was a perfect, in my opinion, it was really, really well done, as DC animated movies often are.
I haven't seen it yet. My roommate got it on Blu-ray right before he moved out. And I never ended up watching it, but...
It's good. It's definitely good. It's got some good twists and turns, and it defines, or it does a good job defining what the Suicide Squad is all about, how it usually leads to Amanda Waller and the government. Like, they're always deceived. They always deceive the Suicide Squad. So basically, Suicide Squad is put on a task that the government basically keeps low-key, so that way they can go above the law or beyond the law, using bad guys to do it. So that way, if shit hits the fan and things get found out, they can just blame them and wipe their hands clean of it, so to speak, obviously, is what the whole premise is, which I think is a fascinating premise, by the way. And in the animated thing, it's essentially, there's a lot of deception that goes on, and they're just using the Suicide Squad as pawns in a lot of fashion, and in many cases, they don't ever care. I mean, they don't care if the Suicide Squad lives or dies. They just want them to succeed the mission. So, I don't know, it's just interesting how they do it.
Well, it's going to be rough, because I just came out of the Hateful Eight a couple of days ago,
right.
And no one in that movie is terribly likable. Everyone is pretty much scum.
Yeah.
And even though I thought the movie was overall pretty good, it was good. It was a solid good. I had problems with it.
Solid good.
Yeah, it's just, good doesn't mean good anymore. If your mind's not blown, it's shit. I feel like that's the way people act now.
I'm if you're not like that, but yeah, I get annoyed when people are like that, because it's so often, that movie was amazing, that movie was shit. It's like, can it just be? What's wrong with okay? What's wrong with good? What's wrong with great? There's other stages to. What's wrong with decent? What's wrong?
We're spoiled.
What's wrong with bad? What's wrong with underwhelming? What's wrong with below average? Like,
I can think of a couple of things wrong with bad.
Well, you know what I mean, though. It doesn't have to be the worst movie of all time. It doesn't have to be the best movie.
Oh
of all
no,
time.
that I absolutely agree.
What happened to 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8?
And let's get into the decimals too. I mean, we don't even have to stop there, man. But fucking, I don't know, dude. Like, In the Hateful Eight, there really wasn't a character I was rooting for because I didn't really like anybody in this movie. If it
Yeah, I know how
has
that
that
goes.
problem,
Yeah.
then it's like I'm not going to be sucked in, you know. Because if I don't want them to succeed, then I'm going to be looking at my watch a lot, and I have to at least want. They have to at least be likable.
But
You know?
do you doubt that you'll like a Harley?
Yeah, I
Because I
think
mean, you
I'll like
kind of know
her,
what to expect about with the character.
but it's like a Deadpool situation. Harley makes me laugh, you know, and she's super fucking attractive in the movie. So no, if Harley's not on screen, everyone else is going to be in trouble then. So, you know,
I
if I'm
think Will
laughing,
Smith's Deadshot will be the sympathetic character in a lot of ways.
well, I don't know much. I don't know anything about Deadshot other than the very few glimpses I got when I played Arkham City. I never finished the game, so maybe he was in it more. But I know he shoots guns and shit. So yeah, no. What was your score? What was your final?
I didn't give it, but I'm going to say this one is probably going to be the one that struggles most along with Deadpool, if not more, just because it's got the most to essentially win people over with. I feel like, to a degree, every other one that we've listed so far kind of has a safe amount of people that are going to like it. Whereas this one, I feel, is going to have to face the most scrutiny in a lot of ways. I mean, Batman vs. Superman and stuff like that, X-Men and Deadpool will all have their own degree of scrutiny and fans being very harsh on it. But I feel like this one, above all else, is going to be the one that people rake over the coals and find every reason to do so. And it's going to be the hardest sell, so to speak, for a lot of reasons. But I'm going to say this one gets a 61%.
Yeah, I'm not far off.
I hope it gets at least that, because I feel like I'm hoping this one, if anything, people come out surprised and happy. This should be the Guardians of the Galaxy of the DC brand, and I don't mean it has to be like, oh my god, that was amazing, or blow people out of the water like Guardians of the Galaxy did. I'm just saying I hope this is the one that people walk out like, I did not think that, like, that was better than I thought it would be. And it has a bunch of great moments that people point to, and they just have a good time more than anything. And people come out loving these characters more because of it.
But I have to love the characters, though. That's the thing. Like, if they are demoniac, horrible human beings, then it's gonna be a rough trip, you know.
But maybe that's part of the love and charm to them, is some of them, they're gonna be villains. But I mean, we like certain villains because of that. You like
Joker being a good example.
You like Shinnok. Shinnok's a piece of shit, but I mean, you like Shinnok.
Oh,
for
horrible
some reason.
person.
Joker's another one. Joker is a villain that, even though you despise, you can't help but want more of them. It's like, as long as they are like that, as long as they can be
fun.
Nasty villains, but they have to be fun villains. Like you said, Harley, in a lot of ways, is a fun villain. So as long as the others, there's at least 2 or 3 or more of them that you latch onto and like, I want to see more of that character. But the thing about the Suicide Squad is there's constantly people dying and being replaced, because that's the nature of the job. So if they were to continue the series and do a Suicide Squad movie too, it's likely that the cast will shift.
No, that's true, and the Joker is a really good counterexample. Part of me is, because it would be so in line with the Joker. Part of me is hoping that he's just wearing like these fake kid tattoos, and halfway through the movie, he's like, "Oh, it rubs off," and he doesn't even have tattoos.
You just gotta get past the tattoos. Just accept that this. Just accept that it's a different Joker, and that as long as the acting is there and the personality is there, then you should be able to look past the looks.
I mean, I'm not one of those people who was like all up in arms and shit about the Joker. I just thought, like, the thing is, if this movie does work, then this is the Joker we're gonna have forever in the DC, universe. Like, this is gonna be the film universe for DC, and this is the Joker we're gonna be stuck with.
He won't be forever, but yeah, he'll be the next 10 years, probably, yeah.
Yeah, and I don't.
But if he's a great actor, then that's good. That's a good thing.
I think Leto was a good choice. I think Leto's a hell of a good actor.
In that small scene, he won me over. Believe me, I was just as harsh as anybody else, but I was also saying, if he sounds good and he acts good and he's entertaining, and I want to see, like, he has the presence of Heath Ledger, where I'm like, I want more Joker. Every scene that he's not in, I'm like looking forward to the next one he is in. if he can be that way, which in that small snippet, I thought his delivery of that line, the "I'm just gonna hurt you really, really bad," and his smile and the way he presented himself, if that's any indication, I feel like that's what calmed my fears, so to speak. So I'm hoping more of that continues.
I think it was good as well. I guess I'm not scared, but it's because I'm not invested. So I don't really have strong ties to DC
Right.
because my ties to Marvel do not come from comics; they come from gaming. That's why Psylocke's my favorite X-Men of all time. It's not because of the comics; it's because of Marvel's superheroes. You know, Children of the Atom and whatnot, and all that jazz.
Right.
And yeah, I like shooting electric butterflies at people. It's fucking awesome. The Joker. It's like when Injustice came out, people were like, oh, reveal the Joker. I could not give a fuck about the Joker in Injustice. I've never wanted to play as the Joker. Like, I've never wanted to project myself into that character. Same thing with Freddy Krueger. Like, I like the character for what it is, but I don't want to fucking be Freddy Krueger. I don't want to fucking be the Chainsaw Massacre, Leatherface, whatever the fuck his name is.
You don't want to be the Texas Chainsaw Massacre?
I don't want to be a fat redneck who doesn't talk. That doesn't sound great at all. Like nothing. But so yeah, I mean, the Joker's a lot of fun. You know, he's a roller coaster ride. So I don't think they're gonna mess that up. I think at the very least he will be well written. I just hope there's a good story underneath all of that, and I hope there's characters that I can at least get attached to and that are enjoyable. You're right; they don't have to be saints. I loved Heath Leather. I can't fucking talk.
Heath Leatherface.
Yes. Yeah. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. I'm gonna say 55%.
55, yeah. I feel like that's anywhere from 40 to 70. I feel like is a safe gamble. I would hope it doesn't bomb completely, and I don't think it's going to be the next big coming of movies type of thing. So I think anywhere from 40 to 70 is probably the most likelihood to land. But yeah, I hope for the best with it for multiple reasons, and yeah. Supposedly there's another there's another trailer coming. If any movie needs another trailer, I feel like it's that one.
Oh yeah, oh man. I mean, it's the exact opposite of Civil War.
Right, Civil War. We're already confident in that brand. Suicide Squad we need to see more. We need to understand more of what we're getting, and we need further emphasis on certain things to feel like it's going to be good. So yeah.
Yeah, when I saw the trailer for Suicide Squad, I was like kind of like talking to my friend next to me in the theater saying, I have no fucking clue what to make of this movie. Like, I don't know what they're trying to sell me here. So,
And then on this chart it says October 7th for Gambit, which I'm pretty positive that's not happening.
Yeah,
anymore.
no, there's
they
no
moved that back. So
yeah, that thing's done. There's not going to be a Gambit movie. I strongly doubt it.
Why not? Just because the directors and all that keep dropping out?
Well, I mean, that's part of it, but I think they just missed their window. I don't think the demand is there anymore. I think it's, for the most part, the audience that would have seen Gambit has dispersed. Like,
yeah, Gambit's not what he used to be either in popularity. It's kind of like the Deadpool treatment, except for Gambit. Gambit's main popularity was during the 90s.
Oh, yeah. He was my favorite character in the 90s. Then I grew up and became an adult, and I decided Nightcrawler was better.
Well, I mean, he was always better, so I'm glad you
did. Yeah, no, he was always better.
Gambit's another favorite of mine, yeah. So,
but Nightcrawler was kind of a hard commodity to come by in the 90s. You didn't see a lot of Nightcrawler unless you read the comics. That was it. He wasn't in the games. He was in, like, what, 2 episodes of the cartoon?
He was in one game. He was in, I remember because you could teleport through the walls.
The Sega Genesis one,
the one
right?
that you had to escape at the end of one of the levels, yeah.
Yeah, there's a supercomputer, and you have to literally turn your fucking Sega Genesis off.
Right,
that was bullshit, man.
He was in that one. He was in the animated series every once in a while. And then he was in the Evolution. He was like a regular in the new X-Men one that came out in like the 2000s.
Yeah, I skipped all of that.
I watched a few of those back in the day. It wasn't as good, obviously. And then he was in X-Men 2, which I still felt like, man, they could have gotten way more out of him as a character. But oh well.
Well, great performance, but I did see clips of the Evolution series because I was watching Lindsay, I don't know, the former Nostalgia Chicks web series, Loose Cannon.
Yeah.
And it's almost like they were trying to channel Beast Boy from Teen Titans. Like, it felt almost like that was the spirit of the character.
Yeah.
Which, honestly, even though I realize he is comic relief, and Bryan Singer even said he's going to be comic relief in the new movie, that's never really been my favorite part of Nightcrawler, so
Right.
we'll see how that goes.
Alright, well, last but certainly not least, we have Marvel's Doctor Strange, which is kind of the most, obviously the most unknown out of all of these, just because all we have so far is a picture. Son of a bitch. Every time I put in a new light bulb, another one dies. Why does that happen? I feel
Room's
like
haunted, dude. Your room's fucking haunted.
I feel like the light bulbs are in competition, so then when one dies out and I put a new one in, it's like sucking the life energy out of another light bulb. 'Cause I swear, I just put that bulb in yesterday, and every time I put a new bulb in, a new bulb
Leatherface? What?
Heath Leatherface. Every time I put a new bulb in, I'm giving up on this. I'm aborting this fucking statement.
You got your monitor on. That's enough light. You don't need to.
It's frustrating. That's money. Those things cost money. It's not literal money, but those things cost it. Anyways, Doctor Strange. Go ahead and explain why you love Doctor Strange. He's your favorite character.
Well, he's above the fray. Like when you see him interact with other
pop back
villains,
on. We're in good shape. It's slowly sucking the life out of it, though. I know it's struggling.
Oh man, that's actually awesome. I hope that that's a continuing trend. I really want to see more light bulbs jack the soul of other light bulbs.
Its effectiveness rate is growing.
Changes time, kills your plants, dude. Nothing good about it.
That's not good.
Your dog is.
I'm probably in front of the mirror right now.
Dude, mirrors creep me out, dude. Like, some people are afraid of clowns, man. Like, clowns never really bothered me, but I never really had any bad experience with clowns as a kid. Like, mirrors?
It scared the shit out of me when I was younger.
I was okay. Like, I remember when I was like 3 years old, maybe 4. There was like a Halloween party, but I didn't have a concept of parties or Halloween. So when fucking Batman showed up, I was freaking the fuck out. Like, but not in a good way. I'm like, dude, I'm not even dressed. I'm in like my fucking sweatpants and shit. Like, Batman's gonna think I'm an asshole. Like,
what the hell is happening?
No, I don't know. Doctor Strange, yeah. I like his approach to being a hero. I feel like he's so above the fray. He's always calm. He knows what he stands for. And when shit goes wrong, I feel like he's a very stable element in his own story and other people's stories. I just love the way he approaches like the human race that he's trying to protect. It's very interesting to me. Like, he knows they're simpletons, yet he still cares for them and is very affectionate to them. It feels like that they're worth saving. I feel like, I mean, if people haven't read the comics, because I actually have read the Doctor Strange comics. I don't want to ruin anything for me, for myself. What the fuck, for anyone else out there. But there is a big fight between him and Dormammu, and the way they resolve it, and the way Doctor Strange wins that fight, is unbelievable, and I think very progressive for like a comic from the 1960s. Really well done. I feel like there's almost like a pre-Mortal Kombat vibe with the way Baron Mordo kind of tries to deal with Doctor Strange, but he's so bad at it, you know. And there's almost like a Shao Kahn Shang Tsung relationship there. And there's one point in the comics where Dormammu just steps in and says, "You're done, Mordo. Get the fuck out of here. You suck. I'm dealing with this now." It's very Shao Kahn-ish, you know. Little things like that kind of came to life for me. Very interesting powers too. He has a very indirect way, but a very versatile way of dealing with his opponents. He's great at martial arts. He's great at melee, but you know, spell casting is obviously a very big part of what his powers are, and his powers itself are very grounded. You know, there's a medallion, there's his actual mystic abilities, and there's this connection to the Ancient One. All that I think is very well articulated. Just great stuff all around. As for the appearance of Benedict Cumberbatch, I feel like the beard needs to be more beard. I feel like the color is a little underwhelming because he is a awesome color with his cape in the comics. I think it's amazing. But or his cloak, I guess I should say. But we gotta talk about the rating, don't we? And my rating's not going to be as high as I would like. I'm going to say it's going to get 65%.
It's got to be like a low for a Marvel movie.
Well, the reason Scott Derrickson
Iron Man 2 and stuff. Maybe I don't know.
Well, there's problems here. Scott Derrickson, I think, is a phenomenal director, but he's a little George Lucas-y, where if you don't give him the right limitations, he goes a little crazy. The Exorcism of Emily Rose, phenomenal. Sinister, phenomenal. Sinister 2, from what I understand, is a gigantic piece of shit. I never saw Deliver Us from Evil, but I heard nothing but horrible, horrible, horrible things. He didn't direct Sinister 2, but he did write it. And that's just a complete shame if that movie's as bad as I hear it is. But, man, the guy is really good with characters. He's really good with atmosphere. So I think he's a really good match for Doctor Strange. So if the people who are in charge of the cinematic universe for Marvel do what they did to Ant-Man with Doctor Strange, I don't think we have anything to worry about. But I think you need a really controlled environment with Scott Derrickson. I love him. He's one of my favorite horror directors, but he needs the proper limitations to really function at an optimal level, in my opinion. So there's a lot that could go. There's too much that could go wrong here. I'm going to say 65, and hopefully I'm wrong. It's an amazing movie. 90% Rotten Tomatoes. That's what I'm hoping for.
Fuck off.
You fucking know. I won't.
Okay.
You don't know me.
I see you're 65, and I raise you 15%-ish. Ish.
Don't get crazy, Temp. Calm the fuck down.
I'm going to say 80%, so you could say not ish. It's literally 15%.
I'll take it, dude. Like that's if a movie gets that on Rotten Tomatoes, 70% is not a bet, or fucking 80%.
Here's how I see it. It's going to be a lot like Ant-Man in the sense that Doctor Strange is going to be a tougher sell. I mean, Ant-Man's probably the toughest sell out of all of those. Maybe Guardians of the Galaxy was as well, or initially. Now it won't be because it's already established itself now with fans and non-fans alike. But Doctor Strange he's not an Iron Man, he's not a Captain America in a sense that most people don't know who he is. Unless you obviously are a comic book fan. If you are a comic book reader, even casually, you probably have heard him, yes. But if you're just somebody walking down the street, you know who Superman is, you know who Batman is, you knew who Spider-Man was, but you don't know who Doctor Strange is. He is in a lot of ways like a B-list superhero in the Marvel universe. At least in terms of right now. I would only consider the A-listers the ones that have actually gotten movies by this point.
He's auxiliary at best when it comes to the universe itself, unfortunately.
Right. So, but this movie could change everything. He could be the A-lister afterwards. But anyways, their movie's success usually depicts how much they feature them in the comics. Like, obviously Guardians got a whole new comic once and probably got a lot more after the movie came out. So I could see that, and Iron Man and all those really just blew up in popularity in the comics after their movies were successful. So I could easily see the same thing happening here. And I'm seeing an 80% because I think it's going to be good. I think it's going to win over a lot of people. I don't think it's going to be perfect, but Marvel Studios has a track record, and I don't think they can produce necessarily a bad film. They can produce okay to amazing, so I think this one's going to fall on the good side, and it's going to be, like I said, around 80%, and I'll say 80% for my prediction. I don't have anything to base it off. The photo looks good. The character, I don't know a whole lot about. I have a general idea. I know his powers. I know his role in the Avengers and stuff like that, but I don't know. I haven't read individual Doctor Strange comics or anything like that, which is funny enough because he's the Marvel equivalent of Dr. Fate. They're the mirror images of each other.
That is kind of weird. So what?
Which is in a lot of ways we like same characters in that regard.
Yeah, there's a nice little poetry going on there. But that is why Dr. Fate, not Doctor Strange? Then is it more because you're partial to DC, or
There's that. It's not even that I'm more partial to DC. I do like. I mean, I guess I am slightly. It's probably if I had to kind of percentage wise how much I like each brand, I'd say we're talking about 55-45. It's not like a huge difference. There's a lot of Marvel I like. I grew up on I mean, for me, I grew up on X-Men just as much as I grew up on Batman in a lot of ways. A little more so Batman, but I don't know. I like Fate. I like Fate's story. I like a lot of what I like about Fate. I like his power set, but I also like the way he looks. Just in general, like the characterization. I like the helmet. I love his outfit and stuff like that. Whereas Doctor Strange looks cool, but I mean, if you put two of them side by side, to me, in my opinion, I think Fate looks cooler. Maybe the helmet has a lot to do with that. Probably does.
Well, the thing about Strange, man, is that you can see his personality and his appearance so much. Like, his appearance kind of says it all.
Right.
He's very kind, very humble, very wise, doesn't put up with a lot of shit. So I think with Dr. Fate, because I know nothing about the character, I look at the character and I still don't know dick about the character. I know nothing about your favorite character, bro.
Right.
Nothing.
Right. Well, he's not my favorite. He's not my favorite.
Huh.
I mean, Batman's my favorite.
Oh, okay. I was like, who the fuck's your favorite?
Fate's in my top 10. He's not my favorite. I could see the misconception because he is my icon. I use the icon because, one, I really like that picture of him. Two, I just think it looks cool. And that's the extent of it. It looks
Maybe
cool.
I'm asking the wrong questions. Would you main Dr. Fate if he
I was trying to support him for Injustice because me supporting Batman didn't... I mean, I had a Batman signature at the time, but I don't need to support Batman.
Exactly,
Batman was a guarantee. Supporting Fate.
It'd be hilarious if he doesn't make it. If Batman's like the Fujin of Injustice too, but oh man, I'd laugh my fucking ass off. But that's not going to happen. There's no way.
Because in their minds, Batman doesn't equal, or Fujin doesn't equal Batman, which he really doesn't. But
he totally does not.
But in their minds, Fujin is equivalent of like a Dr. Fate. So
see, I thought you were going to like main Dr. Fate, like get like a Dr. Fate arcade stick and everything when Injustice 2 came out. Like,
I would. Well, here's the thing. This will be another discussion that we should have at some point, if not now, someday. We should run down our favorite superheroes because I don't think we've ever done that in general. I don't think we ever have, DC or Marvel, or all together.
Yeah, I could probably throw together a top 5 list.
Yeah.
You guys have read so many more comics than you, Shadowloo, and Razor have all read so many more, and even Django. Django's a comic book guy. I forget that sometimes, but yeah, I don't reach.
There's nothing wrong with. I mean, your exposure to them in whatever fashion is more than enough. Be it cartoons, be it games, movies, whatever.
I feel like there is something deprived when you go into a movie not knowing much about the character. I feel like there's something... I mean, honestly, you can only hurt a movie if you know so much about the character, but I still feel like I would really like a more informed perspective, I guess, when I look at these movies. Like, Thor is a really good example. I wish I known so much more about Thor going into that movie. But, I don't know, like, I don't really feel strongly about, like, choices 3 through 5, to be honest with you. It's really just Strange and Nightcrawler, and well, I'll save the list if we do it, but
right. Yeah, I don't know. For me, Dr. Fate is definitely in the top 10. But mainly it's like Batman. Like, I won't give away numbers because we will do the list, but for me it's like Batman, Green Lantern, Captain America, Nightcrawler, trying to think what else. Daredevil's worked his way up. I really like, ever since I started reading his comics, and then the Netflix thing helped seal the deal. So I read his comics like 2 years ago, and I really got into the character, and obviously the Netflix thing helped bump that up even further because I thought they did him really, really well. But I love his characterization. I love his superpowers in a sense, and I love his abilities. I'm always a sucker for like acrobats and stuff like that. Just I like simple powers in a lot of ways. I'm not into big brutes. I mean, I like the Hulk, I like Thor, I like Superman, but
is there really a good iconic big brute that people really crowd? And I don't count Hulk.
Well, if you don't count Hulk, then Superman was popular. I mean,
Well, the reason I don't count Hulk is because Hulk is, in essence, Bruce Banner.
Right.
The Hulk is more of a mechanism than he is a character, in my opinion.
Sure.
Unless, I'm sure in the comics, like, he puts on glasses and is all smart and shit, but I don't know. Like, I've not read the comics, but yeah, is there a big brute? I mean, maybe an Image. That's when it gets a little more.
I mean, there's Colossus. There's trying to think, Juggernaut. Trying to think who else can come to mind. Killer Croc, you could say. He's not really a superhero, but
None of these are heavy hitters to my. I like Colossus as much as the next guy, but
Thing would be a brute.
Is he anyone's favorite Fantastic Four member? Well, no,
Well,
that's
he's
actually
gotta
fair.
be. He's gotta be.
He's definitely not the worst, I'll say that. But when you put the human, I like Mr. Fantastic quite a bit, but the Human Torch and Mr. Fantastic kind of steal the show.
Yeah, I'm a Human Torch guy. He was my favorite for a while. Trying to think, but yeah, those would be in there. And if we're only counting superheroes, then yeah. And Flash is in there somewhere. Wonder Woman's in there. I like Captain Marvel.
When you say Captain Marvel, you mean Shazam, right?
Shazam, right? Trying to think who else comes to mind. There's so many. There's just so damn many.
Aquaman's hot shit right now.
Aquaman's not bad. I don't have hate for Aquaman. Like, I think that's kind of dying down at this point. Anybody that at least educates themselves on more of the better Aquaman stories out there, but
well, I think the joke just got old, dude. I think the whole Aquaman sucks bit just people got tired of.
Get played out quite a bit. See, I play Hero Escape, which I've talked about to you guys. I play that every Sunday, and that's a good way to learn about characters you've never really, because I don't read every single comic out there. So a lot of my exposure to a lot of these characters, my first exposure to a lot of these characters, if they're more obscure characters, is through Heroescape, which is just using Marvel Heroescape base set, and then we use these. There's a big community that I'm a part of that creates new cards for other comic book characters, and it's a whole process. They have like a whole elaborate process. Anyways, the point is, in my collection, I have like 500 plus Hero Clicks, which are those little tiny figures that people use to play Hero Clicks. Well, anyways, we use that for Heroescape, and people make cards for them and balance it out and everything. And each person's card has their powers on, like a good 2 or 3 powers that really define the character and their stats and whatnot. And anytime I'm interested in a character, I just look up their backstory and all that kind of stuff and get a general idea from their powers. So that's a fun way that I get attached to certain characters, even if I don't get around to reading the comics. So that's kind of a cool way. I learn a lot of Hulk villains and shit that I wouldn't have otherwise known about, and this and that and the other thing. But anyways, trying to think who else would have made the list. Who else would make that list? Cyclops would be up there.
I mean, Psylocke's obviously on the list for me. Right?
Yeah, Psylocke's up there. She'd be. I don't know if she'd be in top 10. She'd easily be top 20. Top 20, I could fill out a top 20 easily. That's the hard part.
I would struggle, man. I would fucking struggle. Like,
that's
maybe like a villain list would be easier for me because
villains would be another good list for sure.
I don't know. I guess just to close out. Well, with Doctor Strange, I did want to mention Benedict Cumberbatch, who I think is a fantastic casting. Very little to do with his acting. I think he is an amazing actor, but I feel like getting someone popular and very present in the consciousness of audiences is really clever. Really, really good pick to bring this character to the forefront. Because everyone agrees he's a good actor. He's just a universally loved. He does the Sherlock Holmes series. He was Khan in Star Trek in Darkness. He was Smaug in The Hobbit. He was the dude. I don't remember the actual dude's name, but in the WikiLeaks movie.
Okay, I've only seen Hobbit out of all of those that you mentioned.
He's Smaug.
All right.
He's going to be in Zoolander 2. His part looks.
Oh, that'll be funny.
So. Yeah, I'm not a big Zoolander fan. I don't think it's a very laugh out loud. Yeah. Exactly. That's precisely. The only part that really had me dying is when he's with Jon Voight, who plays his father, and they're watching the TV, and he comes on the screen as a mermaid, like, and Jon Voight is just looking there like dead faced.
Yeah.
He's like wearing the miner outfit. He's got like fucking like dust all over his face, and he's looking at the TV at the mermaid, and he's like soulless, and I'm just dying in that scene. But everything else like that was
my favorite scene in there was
gasoline.
No.
Okay.
My favorite scene was where I forget what Will Ferrell's character's name is. He builds the little model of the fucking the reading center, and then he's
the school for ants.
He smashes it. How could they? It needs to be at least 2 or 3 times bigger than that. It's like this little fucking model. It needs to be like 30 times bigger than that, or fucking 30,000 times bigger. It's like fucking. He's like 2 or 3 times bigger than that. How are they supposed to read if they can't fit in it?
No, it's
that scene was great.
But it's a trailer scene, so you've already played the joke before you even get in your seat, you know?
It's a reading center for ants.
So yeah, I'm actually kind of looking forward to Zoolander 2, because I feel like Ben Stiller as a director has really grown, like from fucking...
What has he done? Tell me.
Tropic Thunder.
Tropic Thunder was really good, yes.
Yeah, phenomenal. He also did Mystery Men, but I didn't think that was very good.
That was a long time ago, and yeah, that was
yeah, he's grown. The dude's gotten a lot better. He's done some other shit too, but I can't think of anything at the moment, honestly. He might have done the Night at the Museum movies. I didn't see any of them. I don't know if they're good.
First one was good. I didn't see the other 2.
Yeah, well, it's also weird going into Zoolander 2 knowing that Owen Wilson has kind of gone through this giant life crisis. He's like attempted suicide at this point.
Oh,
so
geez,
watching...
I didn't know any of that. What the hell happened?
Well, I could be wrong about everything. I have no fucking clue, dude.
I could be wrong about everything I'm saying.
Typing in my computer about Owen Wilson.
It's kind of background check then. I've
Doing
never heard anything about
suicide.
I've not heard anything about
yeah.
any of this.
Let's see.
I imagine depression of some sort. What the hell? Did he go through like a divorce or what?
Well, here's the exact Wikipedia quote. On August 26th, 2007, Wilson was taken to St. John's Health Center for what was rumored to be a suicide attempt. He was then transferred to Los Angeles, blah, blah. His lawyer confirmed that he had been undergoing treatment for depression. And I think that's all we know, to be honest with you. But
and that's it?
This was before Tropic Thunder, to be honest with you, so... Yeah.
Was he in Tropic Thunder? I'm trying to remember what role he played.
I think he was going to be in Tropic Thunder, but they replaced him with Matthew McConaughey.
Okay,
when
that
all the
makes
shit.
sense.
McConaughey was fucking fantastic.
Yeah,
dude.
he was. Man, now I want to watch Tropic Thunder again.
Dude, that movie is so good. It drives me
definitely
nuts.
one of the better comedies of the last decade.
Well, we got a Best Supporting Actor nomination for fucking Robert Downey Jr. We finally got a comedy that got an Oscar nomination. And he lost to Heath Ledger.
Oh, yeah, bad time.
That's tragic. That just sucks, man.
Well, those are 2 big juggernauts. That was...
Yeah, that's... But, damn, those are both unbelievable performances. Just a horrible, tragic accident in history that those 2 performances were pinned against each other, man. It's not even fair. But, yeah, no, yeah, so it was, I guess because enough time has passed, I think he did a dog movie or some shit after that.
Was he in Anchorman 2?
No, I don't think so.
Was he in Anchorman 1?
Probably not. I can't remember.
I know Luke Wilson was his brother, but...
Was he?
Anchorman, yeah. He was one of the other... other... Remember when they all rumble? I'm pretty sure he was in there.
Yeah, and Ben Stiller was in that as well.
Yeah. Ben Stiller. The whole gang, they all have, like... They're all in each other's movies. It's kind of like Seth Rogen has his crew. Will Ferrell kind of has his crew.
It's like a modern-day Rat Pack sort of.
Right. There's a few of those.
No, okay, that I guess that... I don't think Owen Wilson was in either movie, to be honest with you, but he did that really popular dog movie where his dog is like a fucking dog and shit. I can't remember what it's about. But it's one of those sappy, sad family stories that are centered around a dog. Right. Jennifer Aniston's in it. Fuck, it was like Marley. And then he went to do the Marmaduke or some shit, which was another dog movie, but that one was apparently really bad, so I don't... He got typecasted for dog movies.
You're a liar.
I got the Wikipedia right. Dude, I do have the Wikipedia right in front of me. Why the fuck did I search up Anchorman? Okay, let's see. Anchorman came out 2005? He was in Wedding Crashers.
Wedding Crashers, yeah.
Yeah, and
I guess he hasn't been in a lot of stuff, yeah. I didn't really realize that or notice it.
I haven't heard of most of these new movies. He's in all the Night at the Museum movies, and that makes sense, but... Yeah, he hasn't done a lot of heavy... Like, a lot of limelight stuff recently, but... I don't know. Did you want to bust into Trick or Treat?
Sure. I mean, if you want. What's there to say? I mean, it's just Trick or Treat, you know? Dumb movie. Stupid.
Let's start positive. Why did you like Trick or Treat? We'll start with
because it's probably the most oozing of Halloween in a movie ever.
I would agree with that. I definitely...
It just bleeds, literally bleeds Halloween more so than even Halloween, the movie, or any other movie that's remotely related to Halloween. Nothing holds a candle to it as much as Trick or Treat. This is a movie for Halloween. This is a movie that every little scene, the atmosphere, is exactly what you think of when you think of Halloween. The trees, the leaves, the colors, the mood, the atmosphere, the characters, the stories being told, everything is such ingrained in Halloween. And why I love the movie so much beyond just that point. Just like the entire movie, I felt like the whole time I was watching it, I was just thinking, man, everything just has such a feeling of Halloween and fall in general. But yeah, so that's why I liked it for that reason. But the main reason why I liked it is just because I really enjoyed the anthology storytelling. I liked how Sin City was told. I like that method of storytelling where you have different storylines happening at the same time and they all overlap, but you don't know quite how they're overlapping until you see it happen. And I like that storytelling method. I like seeing the characters in the background and the next story being told or just interacting with the other characters. I love that method of storytelling. I feel like it's something that's not done very often, which is a good thing because I don't want it to be overdone. But when it's done, I feel, in my experience with it, it's usually done well. Otherwise, people wouldn't do it. Because if you can't make it work, then don't fucking do it. But
if you think about it, it's almost like this movie was like Pulp Fiction for children.
Right, Pulp Fiction's another good example of that. Pulp Fiction, Sin City, and this all come to mind as decent examples of it being done well. And yeah, no, I love the twists and turns that you go. Obviously, this is full on spoilers, and it's been a couple years since I've seen this at this rate, but or at least a year. I can't remember if I watched it last year or the year before, but anyways, it was really well done. They had some twists and turns that I didn't expect. I didn't expect the masked dude that was constantly trying to... You thought he was like a vampire trying to take over the females or whatever, ended up being the teacher, the principal or whatever that was, that kills the kid in the beginning. And I didn't see that coming. I also didn't see the girls turning into werewolves. No idea that was going to happen. Like, that came out of left field to me. I was just like, they're all getting together. And the whole time, the one that plays Rogue in the X-Men movies, she's like... you're just like, she's like a virgin or something. I can't remember what they were... Yeah, and the other girls were trying to tell her to have sex or whatever. And she's just felt like everything felt super awkward and it was like weird. And then all of a sudden they're fucking werewolves in the end. And you're like, what the fuck? And they weren't talking about sex. They were talking about like eating dudes. And I was just like, what the...
Well, the twist... I didn't see it coming. I think Doug Walker said the movie was predictable, but I didn't see anything coming. But I was kind of stopping my foot because they put the twist in plain sight. Like, they tell you there's werewolves in the movie when that girl's walking through the forest, and they literally hear the werewolves. So right. Like, it's like, shit, should have seen that coming. Fuck.
But they tell it in a way that you don't. I don't know. I thought the only twist that I saw coming was that the old man that was like a grump about Halloween was the bus driver.
Didn't see that one coming either.
That's the only one that I somewhat predicted, where I was just like, I bet you he's this. I didn't see it right away, but I saw as the pieces were starting to unfold. I was like, oh, I bet you that was that guy. But no, and just like the twists and turns with the kids going down, that had all the pumpkins, and they went down the elevator thing, down into that thing they were telling the story of the bus of kids, and it turned out to be true and all that. And I don't know, it's hard to explain, but the way the storytelling is done, the way the characters are done, the colors, the mood, the atmosphere, to me, it was just a fantastic movie for what it was. It was scary at times, it built up suspense at times, but it wasn't necessarily a horror movie. It was more just about fun. It was a cool, fun, exciting Halloween movie, which I don't feel, like I said, if after all these years there's finally a movie that just depicts Halloween more so than any other movie beforehand. I think maybe the only one that would rival it is Nightmare Before Christmas. That's a very Halloween feeling filled.
That did come to mind as well.
Yeah, that one definitely depicts Halloween quite a lot. But
I hate to say it, but even Ernest Scared Stupid, I feel like has the spirit of Halloween nailed, even if it's not an amazing. Although for a horror film for children, I think it serves its purpose incredibly well.
Yeah. But no, I just think it's really, really well done. I just really enjoyed it. I thought it was just fun. Like I said, it was just fun. It was exciting. The way it starts off with the couple and all of that, and then every time he pulls off a sheet. That was such good suspense built up right there. In my opinion, like the suspense, every time the boyfriend would pull off a sheet and you expected her to be there, she wasn't. And then she finally was, which obviously we all saw coming, but the 3 or 4 sheets in, you're like, you expected it each time, and I thought that was a really good suspense.
Yeah, it was, and I'll throw out some positives as well. I love Dylan Baker as an actor, and he fucking killed it in this movie. He was the principal.
Gotcha.
/ sadist / not vampire.
Right.
Phenomenal. Just really good at anything he does. That fucker should have been Lizard Man in my opinion, but whatever, it's done. Yeah. Really good. It's very funny. Like Lizard I've always. I'm just saying, Cyborg.
He's the lizard. It's not Lizard Man. It's just Lizard.
Whatever. I don't read these comic books you kids have been reading.
He's hanging out with Heath Leatherface. But, who's also hanging out with the Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Fuck! I gotta keep my voice down. I gotta be careful. Yeah, my roommate's had a bad night too, so I want to give him his rest for sure. He's been busy. He didn't get home till like 30 minutes ago. But anyway, yeah, so that was very good. I love, and a lot of this is true of Krampus. I love the set pieces. I love the environments. I love the use of color. Everything looks really good in this movie. I thought the humor was mostly strong. And I like the twists. I personally did not know the bus driver was the old crank. I did not see that coming at all. And that kind of brings us into the problem I had with the movie. Not really a criticism, but just the movie is very mean-spirited in my opinion. And there's a lot of cruelty mixed in with some very one-dimensional characters who are not intended to really be deep. Like I said, it's not a criticism. But something about this movie just felt really ugly and mean-spirited. You'll hear me use those words a lot when I'm talking about movies I don't like.
Isn't that what Halloween's about, though?
No, Halloween's supposed to be fun.
Treat. It's trick or treat. You know what trick is? It used to be in Halloween? You'd like throw eggs at houses or fucking destroy shit. Like trick is not a fun thing. I mean, Halloween by its very nature is like a paganistic
it's the druids and the solstice and the spirits and all that jazz.
It's not supposed to be this sugar coated thing.
But why are we defaulting to murder?
Well, I mean it's murder because it's murder by werewolves, a psycho killer, and this little creature that makes sure that Halloween is respected. So, I mean, it's kind of all that involved.
Well, the creature I was fine with. I thought the creature was very well done, very well designed. The things I'm talking about are stuff like the bus filled with mentally... I guess they were mentally ill. They're not really clear about it in the movie, but the mentally ill children who are chained to the bus, who all drowned in the lake because some kid wanted to go home and had a traumatic episode and ended up knocking the vehicle into gear. Like, just, I don't want to see kids die. I don't want to see mentally ill kids die, especially when they're doing mentally ill things.
It's a tragic accident, yeah. I mean, wasn't the bus driver going to kill them or something like that?
It's not clear, honestly. They never come out and say it.
Well, they tease it, right? They tease that he was like, I can't remember what the initial, because he drove them every day or whatever it was, and then
the parents paid him off to do something.
Yes, to probably kill them for whatever reason, and that's disturbing, but...
Well, I had a different interpretation. I think they want you to think he's paid to kill them, but all the kids really say is, at least from what I remember, is that the parents were very distressed, and they paid him a good sum of money to do something. Well, and then when he pulls over at the lake, you think it's to drive the lake into the water.
Drive the lake into the water. Drive that lake into that water.
I can't talk. I need help. I need lessons.
I know a guy. His name's Mr. Leatherface. Heath Leatherface.
Heath Leatherface. Professor Leatherface. Now, but I think what they want you to think that, but when he actually parks the car, there's no reason to believe he's going to do that. What he does is he gets up and he starts handing candy to all the children, which may have been a big no-no. And for understandable reasons, because apparently when you do that, they drive buses into the fucking lake, so I can understand why that'd be a rule. But, so I'm thinking, like, was it supposed to be like a reversal? Because much of the stories in the movie end up being reversals. Right. They want you to think something, and you get sort of the opposite.
Misdirects, yeah.
So I thought that's what it was. It was a misdirection. You think he's being paid to kill all the kids, when really he just wanted to take them out to have a fun time and give them candy.
Why were they chained down?
Well, I think because they were unstable. They were schizophrenic. That's my best guess.
That makes sense.
We're never told, honestly.
Seatbelts would work, but I guess we're full on chain.
Definitely conducive to drowning, but so that's our setup.
Question with that: if he wasn't going to drown them,
why the lake?
Not why the lake. More so. Well, I mean, wasn't it next to a giant cliff though?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, definitely.
I'm trying to remember.
It was definitely a cliff. It was a fall for sure.
Okay. My question was, why did they kill him in the end? Or why did they imply that they were going to kill him in the end? The kids that came back that were zombies, basically.
Probably the same reason they killed the kids is because they were unstable, and I guess that quality transferred over to their current undead nature. Because we're kind of given the impression, even before the tragic accident, these are dangerous, unstable children. So they were fucking with them, you know. They were sadistic, and that's why they were chained to a bus. That's what you're saying is very plausible. I mean, I'm just kind of going out on a limb here. It may very well have been the case he was trying to kill them, but I don't know. Like,
well, why would they punish him though if he gave him the candy and there was just one of them that fucked up that led to their death? Then,
well, why would the children try to kill the kids that were playing the prank on the girl though?
Did they try and kill her? I thought they were just playing a prank.
Well,
okay. Yeah. No, you're talking about the undead kids.
Exactly.
Because they're fucking zombies, and at that point they're not themselves? I thought that's the only reason they... But then that also wouldn't explain why they got all the way to the old man's house. But no, Sam led them there. Or no, Sam was opening the door for them, so he didn't lead them there.
Yeah,
I'm confused. It's been a while since I've seen it.
No, absolutely. Even for me, it's been not too recently that I saw it. So, I mean, I don't know. But either way, like... And that's another problem I have with the movie. When they're all playing a prank on the very sweet, very kind of quiet shy girl. And that's just a horror movie convention I hate. When a bunch of people are doing a prank on a nice person and it turns out there really is horrible things out in the shadows. I just hate that horror movie convention. And then I hated when it's like, you played a prank on me, so now you're all going to get disemboweled by zombie children. I'm like, why is that? I feel like it's the worst of both worlds. I hate the prank, and I hate the sort of poetic justice they try to throw into the movie. It's just ugly to me. It's just really unhappy, and I don't like seeing kids or animals die in movies. That's another kind of sort of like an open nerve for me. I'm just not big on that. So little things like that kind of hindered the movie for me. And it was hard to get invested after that, I think. In the werewolf stuff even, like I kind of felt bad for those dudes trying to get laid. I kind of felt bad.
Well, I mean, you're supposed to feel bad. It's tragic.
Is it fun though?
I thought it was a lot of fun. I can see where you're coming from, where a lot of innocent people died here, or a lot of people that maybe weren't innocent, but didn't necessarily deserve to die, died. But in my opinion, it is at the end of the day a horror movie, and isn't that what horror movies are about? That's what Friday the 13th, Halloween, all Insidious, all of those are people that don't necessarily deserve to die dying, and you as a viewer kind of enjoy that for whatever reason, because you enjoy the thrill of the chase, the story being told, or the character doing it, or whatever the case, and you get behind the characters. And yeah, it sucks when they die and it feels tragic, but at the same time you're like, man, I had fun going along this ride. I feel like that's what horror movies are about, and I feel like this one in a lot of ways delivered the same thing. You had certain characters you cared about that died, which you said, man, that sucks. Then you had certain shitballs, like the principal and even the little kid. Or no, I can't remember. Didn't the little kid that the principal killed do something shitty?
He tried to steal. He was knocking over all the jack-o'-lanterns.
Oh, yeah.
He was just overall just kind of a dick.
You have shitty characters that don't necessarily deserve to die dying, other purely innocent people, this and that and the other thing. People playing pranks. It's like at the end of the day, it's like it was a horror movie, but it was a horror movie based around Halloween characters, Halloween themes, and I felt for that itself, it served its purpose. I don't know.
Well, I guess, to illustrate my perspective, I guess, when I go into a horror movie, I guess what I'm looking for is the conflict I'm looking for is someone encounters the unknown and they have to deal with that. They have to react to that. They have to escape from that. That's what's fun for me. I didn't feel like this was a story of 4 people encountering the unknown. I feel like this was a story of sheep being led to the slaughterhouse, and it almost felt exhibition-y. That's kind of the difference. That's what makes Halloween so good. You don't know who's outside the window. You don't know who's breathing in the bushes, you know?
Well, yeah, it wasn't a slasher. It was different, though. I mean, in its own way, it was different. Sure. It was a horror movie, but it didn't necessarily follow the same beats that a horror movie follows. It was 4 stories intertwined with some twists and turns in between them, and all relating to the spirit of Halloween.
But let's reverse the scenario then. Let's say instead of having the horror convention, the prank, going awry, instead of just a bunch of kids who encounter zombies, and some of them end up dying. I just, when you turn characters into one-dimensional, like, just despicable people, just kind of like, as going back to what Doug Walker would describe them as, cardboard cut bullies, then it's just, they're shitty, and then they die. And it's like, there's no humanity here to care about. There's no humanity here to latch onto. And also, like, it doesn't really ring as a tragedy when the girl is the agency behind their deaths, not the zombie. Did that kid deserve to die for the prank? He didn't know there were actual zombies, so it was a shitty thing to do, but that girl with the glasses kind of sentenced them all to their deaths when she pressed the elevator button. Yeah. That's kind of fucked up. And so I feel like the characters that are bad don't feel realistic, and the characters that are good feel borderline sociopathic. So I'm just like, I don't know.
In a lot of ways, though, it's bad people getting their comeuppance, but in an extreme fashion.
That's really extreme comeuppance.
No, but that's what it is, though. I mean, it's the innocent girl was picked on, and all of a sudden, the tables were turned, and she was just like, you know what? When I was scared shitless and I was begging for help, you guys sat there and took joy in it, and now you're doing the same. I'm out. And yeah, they were literally dying, but she's just getting the fuck out of there.
I just feel like she was kind of overreacting. If that makes sense.
And the same with the werewolves. The werewolf chick who was being preyed upon by the fucking creeper principal.
That was good though. Like,
she was the innocent bystander, and then we find out she wasn't the prey the whole time. She was the predator, and not literally the predator, not Jerry the predator, but no, she kills him, and it's like that principal deserved to die. He killed a fucking kid, for God's sakes.
No, absolutely. I thought that was great. Wasn't a big fan of the Marilyn Manson playing in the background, but that was good because that felt like a Twilight Zone episode to me. That felt like I was
watching.
The
whole thing feels like a Twilight Zone, almost to a degree.
It feels like 4 Twilight Zone episodes.
Sure, intertwined, yeah.
And like a Twilight Zone episodes, some are good, some don't work as well.
But I mean, as the movie as a whole, though, I feel like as long as you had fun watching it and it was enjoyable and it served its purpose, I felt like, I don't know, I don't feel like a movie like this is worth scrutinizing or picking apart to a degree where you're like analyzing this. It's like horror movies to me aren't even, a lot of them, some of them can be worth analyzing, but to a large degree, I feel like if I go, for me personally, I should say, if I go and I watch and I have a good time, I get excited, I have moments of suspense and tension, or I'm like, oh my god, they're going to be there, they're going to be this, okay, this, and you're guessing what this is going to be, and then you have good twists, to me, and then everything's wrapped up at the end. It's like, to me, that's, and you have a good character that represents the franchise. Sam now, the little creature dude, Sam is now another horror icon. It's like, all of that wrapped up in a bow means, and the whole atmosphere in general, which I felt like was amazing. The cinematography and just the visuals of this movie was so much like a comic itself. And they've done a comic based on it, I think, or it was based on a comic. I can't remember which way it was, but
yeah, I didn't get that either, honestly. And it's weird because in the opening credits, I saw the werewolf, and I still didn't see it coming. So
yeah. So, I mean, just all together, it's like I had fun. I enjoyed it. So, to me, it was a good movie. It was different. They did something different with it. I don't know. Like, the little nitpicks like that, I just feel like...
Well, but it all factors into the overall feel, though. Which, like I said, watching this movie, I kind of felt like I was watching pigs being led to the slaughter. I didn't feel like I was watching someone's journey with the unknown. That's the real difference, you know? And I guess when that suspense is gone, it just feels really mean. Like, I know that's kind of a wimpy thing to say.
But I mean, pigs led to the slaughter, though. That's Halloween, that's Friday the 13th, that's Nightmare on Elm Street to me, because you know going into it, 95% of these characters are gonna die. Every single one of those movies, there's 1 or 2 survivors at max. That's just how all of the, look at every Halloween, look at every Friday the 13th, look at every Nightmare on Elm Street, look at every probably Insidious and all those. There's usually The Descent, yada yada yada. You can go on for every horror movie that's like that. 1 or 2 characters are going to be your survivors, and the rest are going to die. Some you care about, some you want to see die, because they're just pure assholes. That's literally every single one of those movies. And I don't feel like the pigs led to slaughter could be applied to any of those.
No, I mean, to an extent, for sure.
You know going in that what you're signing up for.
No, but I think the difference
Even
is
Cabin in the Woods is like that. There literally are pigs led to the slaughter. And that movie was phenomenal.
It was. I feel like it gets a little worse every time I see it, so I need to make a point of not seeing that movie anymore. But it is really good. I agree with you. The difference with Friday the 13th is just the element of Jason is so mysterious and so part of the background that the fun of Friday the 13th is, where is he now? Does that make sense?
Sure.
And it's like, this movie was a play-by-play. They played a prank on her. They hurt her feelings. Now she's going to send them all to their deaths. That doesn't feel the same way to me.
To be fair, she did not send them all to their deaths. They sent themselves to their deaths. She
don't
just didn't
defend her.
No. Listen to me. Listen to me. This is a point, though. You can't say she sent them all to their deaths, because the way I remember it, and I could be wrong, you've seen it sooner than I have. They bring her down. They take the elevator down. They scare the shit out of her. She goes back to the elevator, and the door's closed or whatever. She closes the door. They come back and they start, help us. You know, we need help because there literally are zombies down there or whatever. And she doesn't trigger anything. All she does is leave them. She refuses to help them and she leaves. That's not sending them to their deaths. They all put themselves into that position. She just refused to help them. That's all she did.
Is that not the same thing, though?
No.
I feel like if you can help if you can prevent someone's death and you choose not to, that's pretty much murder.
If a guy, no, because if a guy goes into the lion's den and then all of a sudden he starts begging for my help. Am I responsible for that? No.
But none of them knew there were lions. They didn't know it was a lion's den.
They knew the stories, and they were having fun with it up until that point. So they knew what... Okay, maybe they didn't know the extent of what they were getting into, but they literally put themselves in that position. That girl did not say... The way you're making it sound like is... She's like, hey guys, come over. You're making it sound like she was the one that was playing the prank on them, and all of a sudden shit got real.
Well, the prank was bad. Yeah.
Well, that's how you're you're playing it like she was playing the prank on them. She led them there. She was pretending. All of a sudden, things got real, and then she's like, "Oh shit, I need to get out of here." It was the other way around. She was the one that was the victim. All of a sudden, she's getting the hell out of there, and all of a sudden they need help, and she's like, "No, you got yourselves down here. You were fucking with me. I'm not risking my life to help you."
And, well, the risking the life, I guess, is the diversive point. I think she could have opened the elevator door in time to at least save the fat kid.
That's up for debate, and even so, but once again, I don't count that as responsible. If somebody else is doing something stupid that leads to them being in a dangerous position, it's not up to me. Their death is not my fault. I could help them. That would be the nice thing to do. But I'm not required to help them. It's like if somebody goes swimming in a swamp and all of a sudden they're attacked by an alligator. They chose to go there, and I'm on the shore like, if I just run away, their death isn't my fault.
But what if they're cornered and the alligator's slowly coming towards them? Do I not have an obligation to open that gate?
It's kind of your call, though. So. I think that's your call, though. That's a judgment call. That's what that is. It's not.
I don't know,
fault,
man.
Though. That was them. They literally went down there themselves for bad reasons.
Well, no, and I agree. That's super fucked up. I definitely did not like that aspect for sure. But I feel like what the movie was trying to communicate is these kids were trying to play a prank on this sweet girl, and therefore they deserve to die horribly. That's what I feel like the movie... Because it's not even just the fact that she didn't open the elevator door. It was that smug fuck you kind of look she had on her face. I don't know. It just rubbed me wrong. It's hard to explain, I guess. But
yeah, but it's not even... I don't know. It's just... I guess...
Go ahead. If she'd been like, I'm sorry, I can't, there's no time, and just gone up the elevator, I'd be like, okay, that makes sense, but... It's the whole, like, Total Recall, fuck you, Richter, and just, I don't know, it's hard to explain.
Weren't they talking shit about this girl before she even got there, though?
Well, only one of them was. Only the stuck-up blonde chick.
Yeah.
Yeah, good for her.
We don't know what kind of trauma this girl's been through with these fucking kids, either. Granted, why does she keep hanging out with them? But, I mean, that's some people's relationships with people are literally being treated like shit, so...
That would have been nice, actually, if it was like a parable that was built up over time, and this is like an emotionally abused victim. Like, I guess I can kind of get behind that.
And even the fat kid that was like more innocent, he was still along with everybody else. He knew exactly what was going on. He knew what they were doing to her, and he didn't warn her about it. I don't know. To me, it's just like, I guess if sticking with the point, I guess in my opinion, her leaving them may be a cold-hearted thing to do, but it's not her fault that they died.
Well, if she had to do it, I get it. Like, if there was genuinely no time and she couldn't save them, I'd be on the exact same page as you, but...
And it's an extreme. Once again, this is a horror movie. We see people die that have sex, do drugs, drinking, and we're led to believe the stereotype is they're dying because they're doing those things. They're dying because they're partying and doing these things. That is...
remember, extremes. Though, I'm not exactly cool with that in Friday the 13th either. I feel like that's kind of an Achilles heel of the Friday the 13th series. Like, I would make them more real if I was in the director's chair. Sure. Yeah.
But I mean, just in general, in all of those movies, people are dying undeservedly so. They're all dying undeservedly so for the most part. Even the dicks, the straight up pricks, are dying undeservedly so. Just because you're a complete asshole doesn't mean you should die. It just means you should get your ass kicked and fucking thrown in jail, maybe. I don't know, depending on what you did.
And to be clear, like, I'm not against death in horror movies. Like, one of my favorite horror movies of all time is Nightmare on Elm Street 3, which is the same situation. A lot of horrible things happen to people.
Right.
And Nightmare on Elm Street 3 is not like Friday the 13th. Those people are very, very well written, and usually 9 times out of 10 do not deserve. I can't think of a single Nightmare on Elm Street character that deserved to die. Like, no one comes to mind.
Almost the Friday the 13th people don't really deserve to die.
Oh, yeah. But they're likable is what I mean.
Right,
they're
yeah.
decent human beings.
Yeah, I agree with you there. There's a lot of more likable people in Nightmare on Elm Street.
Like, one good thing that Wes Craven has always been great about is he never has the unrealistic skeptic, which I think is what the first Nightmare on Elm Street did perfectly. People kind of warm up to the idea that there's something very wrong and unnatural happening. And the way he does it is he makes it so the whole town is in on the murder for Freddy Krueger. So, of course, they kind of know what's going on. Of course, they're trying to ignore it. But it's not because they're one-dimensional skeptics. It's because they have to ignore it because they killed a guy.
Wasn't her father, though, pretty skeptical? Like, don't they not only bar up the window, but he's just like, go to sleep after she's purely saying, no, I can't go to sleep?
Well, I think the father... I got the impression it was a front, but the mother, it falls apart so quick that she turns to alcohol because she knows it's real.
Right.
It's like, and there's the whole scene with the bottle and everything. So I thought that was very clever. R.I.P. Wes Craven. I don't know if we ever talked about that, but that's a huge loss. I mean,
it sucks. It definitely sucks.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I definitely have a fondness for Wes Craven, but one thing I would have liked about the movie with Trick or Treat is I wish it had kind of ended on the Charles Dickens ending, where after he survives the encounter with the Pumpkin Kid, like he's like now I truly understand the spirit of Halloween. I'm never going to take Halloween for granted ever again. I thought that would have been a great note to end on.
I agree with that. I thought that's what they were going to do. Is it's an old grizzled person that had a really bad past relating to Halloween, and it's understandable why he didn't want to do it. But now that he's been through this traumatic event, he's just kind of like, okay, I'll stick with it type of thing. And I thought that would have been a good ending. But yeah. Did we see the kids kill him, though? I can't remember.
We see them at the door, and then we hear the scream, and the actual murder is done through comic panels.
Okay. Yeah. That sucks. But yeah. Overall rating... They are going to make a second one, by the way. I don't know if you know that.
Yeah, I'm actually reading that on the Wikipedia right now. Yeah, it looks like...
Yeah, I remember looking that up. I remember them talking... That's when I first learned about Krampus, or whatever. They wanted to do that first before they did Trick or Treat, because Trick or Treat's got like a huge cult following now. That's where I first learned about it. Is
it's very big.
People always recommending it. I would rate it horror movie standards. I would probably give it, thinking like an 8.5 to 9. I'd say somewhere in there.
I would say 5 out of 10, but that's not a bad score.
Wow. And this edition of.
This is not going to get uploaded.
Wow, 5 out of... I'm going to edit that to say something different.
You're going to get ready to overdone me.
I'm going to go earlier on when you say, like, 90 at least. I'm going to make that your score.
Dude, Shadaloo kind of sounds like me. Just get him to overdub it, bro. Just get him to fucking dub that shit over.
No, I'm just going to have him... I'm just going to literally just take your... I'm going to take the 90. I'm just going to cut out the 9.
You're going to take one of the Rotten Tomato scores that was actually kind of high.
Exactly. I'm going to take your 90% minimum. Just do that.
I give it a perfect score.
I give it a 90% minimum.
Trick or Treat 2 Civil War, I'd be down.
5 out of 10.
That's not bad, though. Like,
I mean, it's average, though. It's just saying this movie's average.
Dude, average for horror is like... Well, no, that's not true. Average is like... For the horror genre, I would say like 2 is average. Because most horror is the most polluted genre.
5 is average, though. 5 has to be your average for... Average.
I'm not using the horror scale, I'm using the drama scale. So it's average in relation to movies in general, not really horror specifically. Like, movies universally rated, I would give probably the vast majority of horror films a 2 or a 3, to be honest with you. So 5's not bad.
To be honest with you, Diane, I'm not surprised.
Well, snap.
Well, there you have our first movie review.
Is that what that was?
Kind of was. That was our first breakdown of one.
Yeah, no, that's true. We really tore into that, didn't we?
We did. We got in detail with it, so that was good.
Still got to talk about Mario.
You want to talk about Mario?
I sort of want to talk about Mario.
All right, we'll talk about Mario. Sure.
What's the best Mario?
Best Mario game. Oh man, that is tough because there's a lot of good ones. I like the originals. See, you can't really judge the originals, and then you can't really compare the originals like Super Mario Bros. 1 through World, and those aren't really comparable with like Mario Kart, Smash Brothers, which isn't even really a Mario game per se.
Well, we can stick to the main
Mario Party, Mario Tennis, there's way too many offshoots. Then you have Super Mario 3D World, Super Mario Galaxy, Super Mario N64. Those are like the 3D Marios.
Well, maybe if do you want to put in Mario RPG and Paper Mario?
I like those, but I don't know what you would consider those. Do you count those in with the originals, or do you count those side games? Because I feel like
I
Mario
consider them
Kart,
side projects.
Yeah, Mario Kart, Mario Golf, all those like sports titles, Mario Party, Mario RPG, Paper Mario, those should all be like side Mario games, and then Mario 1 through World plus Mario Galaxy, New Super Mario Bros. Should all be like main Mario titles. Because that's
with the main titles is where I'd go off, because otherwise RPG is going to destroy fucking everything, because it's an RPG. Like, of course it is.
See, I love Super Mario RPG, and I love Paper Mario. I played the crap out of both of those, but I'd still have to, if I were giving it to a side game, I'd still have to go with probably Mario Kart or Mario Party. I've had so much fun with both of those.
Okay, well, but for the main games, what would you...
main games... Classically, I'd go with Mario World. Modernly, Mario Galaxy 1 was really good. So, that'd probably be those would be my jams. New Super Mario Bros. Are good, though. I don't know. It's so tough. They're all so good, in my opinion.
I want to say Mario World myself, dude. Like, Mario World was such a jump from Mario 3. And Mario 3 was amazing by itself. Like, Mario 3 was no fucking joke.
Yeah.
But Mario World, my gosh, like the graphic jump, the even the gameplay additions with the cape and the fucking and the colored boxes, like all that shit was smart. And Yoshi, fucking, I know you're a fan of Yoshi.
He's my favorite. My favorite character. And that's a huge reason why I really enjoyed Mario World. I mean, it's just a fantastic game, obviously, but Yoshi's a lot of fun.
Well, I feel like the whole game is still a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I don't feel that way about Mario World, to be honest with you. I think Mario World is aging progressively worse it's really...
Are you saying Mario World's bad?
Oh, I'm sorry, Mario 64.
Okay.
No, that made no sense.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's still a lot of fun. I don't feel that way about this game I just said.
I am so done talking about guest characters. I never want to fucking talk about guest characters again.
What does guest characters have to do with
it? No, I was referencing the last episode. Gotcha. I ranted for like 30 seconds about how I'm so done talking about guest characters. Then we start bringing up Akuma and Tekken. But yeah, no, I don't know. Mario 64 it looks really bad in my opinion. And the controls are janky. My gosh.
Yeah, I mean, if you want the Mario 64 experience, just play Mario Galaxy. That's a lot of fun.
I did play Mario Galaxy for a little bit. I never got that far into it, but it seemed
really good. Really good. Never played the second one. I have it, but I never fucking played it, which is a shame because I heard that's even better.
Well, it was movement. The 3D motion never was as captivating to me as the 2D side scroller in Mario World.
I agree with that.
Yeah, and just the Wiimotes. Again, it was fun, but I just never really got captivated.
It's the only thing I don't like about Galaxy is I don't like using the nunchuck and Wiimote. I would much rather a controller.
I never even played Sunshine. I have no idea how good or bad
Sunshine, it got a bad rap because it wasn't good as 64 and it was different. You're like cleaning up shit the entire time. But overall, it was fun. I mean, it's probably the worst of the 3D Mario games in that sense, but it's still fun. I mean, I can't think of a bad Mario game other than like Where's Mario and shit like that.
Well, what about Luigi's Mansion?
I never really played Luigi's Mansion. I think I tried it at a friend's house back in the day before I got my own GameCube. But I never owned Luigi's Mansion, so I never got to play through it.
Well, it looks horrible. That's why I never owned. Why I never had a GameCube. Period. But
all I know is Mario. Where are you, Mario? Anyways.
Okay.
I mean, it looked fun, but yeah, it was more Ghostbusters than classic Mario game.
So fucking random.
It's kind of cool. I mean, at least they did something different. Make Luigi his own kind of thing.
I would have rather just had something like give Luigi his own game, but make it like sort of like a different style of gameplay, like they did with Yoshi's Island, which I didn't play either, but I saw my friend play. Yoshi's
Island's good. Yeah.
Yeah, I would actually consider that a canonical Mario game. Like I would put that in the main line. I think that's absolutely fair.
Yeah, I mean it's a side scroller like that. Yeah.
But what about you know, for someone who's very sensitive to repetitive audio, it is kind of surprisingly you like Yoshi as much as you do.
Doesn't bother me. I mean, I don't. What about Yoshi? I mean, I guess like he has his iconic noises, but it's not like a constant thing that's happening. I don't know. It's at my disposal, I guess. Yoshi's never really making those noises as you're like just randomly running around. He makes the noises when he's doing his little flutter jump. He's doing when he sticks his tongue out to eat something, or when he's stomping and stuff like that. I don't know. When he jumps.
Yeah, the sound was really good in Mario World. I mean, that was also a huge improvement. The sound was phenomenal. There's a lot of good bass when he jumps on the turtle shells. I like it a lot, but
yeah, I don't know. I mean, Yoshi's cool. Don't fucking talk about Yoshi. You don't talk unless he talks to you first. I don't know.
I don't know how to do that. Was it Shadowloo who was ripping on Yoshi?
I think so. He was saying like nobody wanted to play Yoshi or whatever, and I was like, that's like the opposite for me. I was always having to fight for Yoshi until the point my friends and my family gave up, and they finally just let me have Yoshi, and they found other characters to favor. It was good.
No, it was really the same over here with Shadowloo. That is, none of my friends really wanted to play Yoshi in Smash. They wanted to be Link. They wanted to be
Smash. Yoshi's not very good in Smash. That's why.
But you have Donkey Kong. And
I don't even play Yoshi in Smash,
and
that's saying something, because in Mario Kart I always pick Yoshi, but in Smash no. Smash 64 I played Yoshi, but that's because I didn't know any better. But no, like now I play either Link or Mega Man. In the first 3 games I play Link. Now I play Mega Man or Link.
Did you want to end on Legend of Zelda, or do you have a favorite? Have you played the Legend of Zelda games?
I haven't played them as much. I haven't played as many, I should say. I've played just about every Mario game in a sense, but I haven't played as all the Legend of Zeldas. I've played the original. I played. I'm trying to think.
Link to the Past?
Yeah, I know I've played those, but I haven't played them recently. Not like since being really, really little. Those are things I need to play again. But I played Ocarina of Time. I played a little bit of Majora's Mask. I own it, but I still need. I don't think I have the booster thing, the booster pack, or whatever the hell it's called that you need for the N64 to play it. I played some Wind Waker, played some Skyward Sword, never played Twilight Princess.
Yeah, I didn't play that one either, to be honest with you. I own it and I didn't play it.
Right. Didn't play much on the Game Boy's Advances or anything like that, versions of them. So no, I don't feel as fun. Like, I like Link and I like Legend of Zelda, but it's not as fondly. I'm not as fondly tied to it. But my favorite would be Ocarina of Time, because that's the one that, for me, was the huge one for me. That one was my jam.
It's weird. I want to agree with you again. In terms of the controls, Link to the Past is unbeatable. Maybe a general fun factor, I'd probably say Link to the Past is the best. But dude, like in terms of like an immersive gaming experience,
right?
You're not gonna beat Ocarina of Time, dude. Like that game was fun. It was
pretty revolutionary at its time. Yeah, I mean it was right around the time of Mario and 64, but I felt like it was better. So yeah, it was so much more to it, so much more. It was difficult, and yeah, it just had a lot to it. It was a long ass game.
It looked amazing too. Like
Yeah.
comparatively, I thought the N64 games overall didn't look that great. That one looked exceptional for its time.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Keep going, don't stop.
Yeah. 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 Row, Raggy. Yeah. Oh man, got bad heartburn. Heartburn or heartburn? I said heartburn.
Heartburn's fine.
I think I have GERD.
I'm sure it means
well,
something.
I know I have GERD, but
It's gotta take some of those Tums.
no, Tums don't help GERD, dude.
Oh, shit. I wasn't aware of that.
I was taking these pills that they lower the stomach acid. I take them like every day for like the last 60 days or whatever, but I'm out of them. I need more, but I need to go back to the doctors because they didn't cure it, which means either I'm gonna always have to take those pills, or they're gonna have to stick a camera down my throat to see if like part of my stomach or whatever is poking up through the little closing part of the esophagus, which is causing it to stay open, which means like stomach acid's coming back up through, which means that's...
See, I thought GERD was like arthritis. I didn't think you could like cure it.
No. Well, no, you can fix it by getting surgery to either get that thing to close or... Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it, because that's probably what's causing it. But just out of nowhere, like, in the past year, for whatever reason, I just started getting heartburn, like, almost daily. And I eat a lot of crap that would give somebody heartburn, so it kind of sucks, because trigger foods are, like, chocolate, anything tomato-based, which is your salsas, your spaghetti sauces, any of that kind of stuff, hot sauces, jalapeno, anything spicy, fruit juices, so anything acidic.
Damn.
Anything fried, like French fries and that kind of stuff. Coffee, I don't drink coffee, but coffee's another one. Sodas, I don't drink pop anymore. I stopped drinking it, and I haven't drank any pop in 3 months.
It's rough, dude. You basically can't eat anything.
Exactly. So you can't just like, I would literally have to change everything I eat. Because
what the fuck is left? That's
there's
everything.
Tomato-based stuff, spiciness, chocolate, fruit juices. There is nothing left after that.
Like if you went to Italy, you would just die.
So yes, so it's not fun, and you can't let that thing go untreated, because if you keep getting acid reflux for too long, like heartburn, it'll tear apart your esophagus and eventually potentially put you at a high risk of like cancer, esophagus cancer, which is no joke. So
yeah,
so that's not fun. So I've been taking pills for that, and I don't like doctors, I don't like hospitals, so it kind of like, he wants to draw blood. If the pills didn't work, the first step was draw blood, so to make sure it's not a stomach bacteria, which I don't think it is, because to me, it just doesn't seem like what it would be. Seems it's probably...
Well, that would work with the timing. Like, that would explain why you have it now and why it wasn't an issue before.
Sure. But I don't know. I'm not a big fan of needles or getting blood drawn, so that's that's the thing.
See, I don't like waiting. I would do needles before waiting.
It's a mind fuck. Like, it's not the pain or anything. The pain I could give two shits about. It's just a little burning. That doesn't bother me at all. It's just, in my head, for whatever reason, I don't like other people working on, like, doing shit like that to me. It's always, ever since I was a kid, I fainted literally a couple times just getting shit done like that, because in my mind it just fucks with me. I can dig into my own skin if I need to like get something out. I just, pain like that doesn't bother me if I'm the one inflicting it in that regard. But when other that sounds like a cutter thing. If I inflict my own pain.
Yeah, I was trying not to laugh.
I need my physical pain to match up with my mental. No, I just mean like physical pain like that never really bothers me. It's only when somebody else is like medically doing it. If that makes any sense. It doesn't make any sense. That's just the way it is. I don't know. Like,
I've had bad experiences with needles, like where someone didn't know what they were doing. They couldn't find my vein.
Ugh.
And it sucks. I'm not in love with it, but there was a time when I couldn't, like, I didn't have enough money to eat, so I had to give plasma like twice a week. So.
Ugh, that sucks.
I've also had the dentist not do sufficient anesthesia for my gums when I got my tooth pulled. So I felt way more than I was supposed to. That was fucking awful.
Yeah. So yeah, I just that kind of stuff just gets me lightheaded, and if you've ever fainted, it's no fun. It's completely out of your control when it happens. So it just sucks.
Oh no, I bet. I've never fainted. But...
It's a lot worse than you would think. Like the movies, anytime somebody faints, it's just like, oh, they put their hand on their head and then they fall down, and then all of a sudden they're like, oh, you fainted. Oh my. It's like, no, that's not how it is at all. When you faint, your body shuts down, and when you know what you feel like when you're about to faint, you know it's coming. So your body will just start to sweat all over. You'll feel your legs and everything getting super sweaty. All of a sudden, you'll get extremely lightheaded. You'll get dizzy, and your vision will start to blur. And it's just like your hearing might go out. It's just like it's the most miserable experience. But then you'll pass out for like 30 seconds or whatever, and hope you didn't hit your head, which I've done. I've just slammed the back of my head on a wall one time because I was standing. And when you wake up, it's miserable. You feel nauseous. I start to throw up. I feel incredibly nauseous and dizzy. I have to throw up a bunch, and I feel like I'm incredibly nauseous and dizzy. Like I just fucking went on 50 like spinny rides in a fucking row. Like it's the worst feeling. So I have to take pills for that just to stop the dizziness. Otherwise, I'll keep throwing up. And yeah, and every time you close your eyes, you just start like fucking every little noise. You start dreaming, like you have like daydreams about. I don't know. It's just worst.
Well,
experience.
that I can relate to. I've had something like that. I've never fainted, but you're right. Movies don't do it justice. They make it look like you're shot with a dart gun, and then you're tranquilized.
Well, they make it just They make it just seem like you fall asleep and then you wake up. It's not that nice. Your body goes into complete shutdown mode, and then when you wake up, you just feel incredibly nauseous.
The closest I ever came to it is I was at some sort of convention, but I was standing, and eventually I started to feel really fatigued.
Right.
And then suddenly my vision went.
Right.
And it was a formal event. I can't be like, hey guys, I can't see. You could not do that. It was like a graduation or some shit like that. And I was trying to stand as long as I could, and when my vision came back, I was lying on the ground. Ooh. Like, I'm not really 100% sure. But I don't remember losing consciousness. I remember being very cognizant that something was wrong.
Right.
And then my vision came back, and I had a horrible headache.
Yeah.
So I think that's like blood flow, or like I stood up too.
If you stand up too quickly, I've done that where I just like fall down type of thing. You get really dizzy all of a sudden, and and another thing that can lead to fainting is they tell you during like weddings and stuff not to stand with your knees locked.
Yeah.
Because if you stand with your knees locked like super stiff like that, you'll eventually faint because you're just restricting blood flow and it. Something like that. I don't know. I'm not a fucking doctor. Get away from me. Man. Deal with it. I don't know what I'm saying anymore. But no, the GERD, yeah, it definitely sucks. Like today I had a bacon cheeseburger with jalapenos from Texas Roadhouse and chili with jalapenos. And I don't have any more pills left, so I went to take a nap earlier, and when I woke up, just fucking such bad heartburn. I drank so much milk to try and diet down, and I can still feel it. It's just like, ugh.
That sucks, dude.
It's bad. So I'm not looking forward to dealing with it because I don't want to deal with surgeries, and that shit costs so much money.
That's true, man. Yeah. Yeah, dude, that's just horrible. That just sucks.
Yeah, the pills are only like it's like $8.75 for like 30 days of pills, so it's not horrible. So probably just gonna keep taking pills until I finally decide to deal with it. Because the pills are good. They make it, if you take them in the morning, take one in the morning, it cuts down your stomach acid enough so you can eat all the things you enjoy and it doesn't cause heartburn. So that's another option, is just to continually take the pills for the rest of your life, or at least any day that you're going to plan on eating that kind of crap, because it's not every little food that does it. It's just most foods I eat like that. So unless I'm eating salad every day. It's like,
well, that's all. I mean, fucking Django would love that. We know he's a salad guy, but fuck, man, like you gotta fucking eat bacon cheeseburgers, dude. That's too.
Right. I mean,
I don't know. That sucks.
25. This is not the time to like start worrying about my diet.
Man. Dude, like that's.
Yeah, it's
Gosh.
uncommon at this age too, which is weird. So it's got
Well,
to be
that's why I
something.
think it's bacterial, dude. That's
Yeah,
precisely why I think it's bacterial.
it's possible. I don't know. I don't have the best of luck with that kind of stuff. So like medical issues, like stupid, like bad chance medical things like that. I seem to have poor luck. Like I had a hernia growing up and shit like that, and just other little dumb things like that just always seem to find its way to me. So
Yeah, I would find a job with like health perks like immediately, and then be like, "Oh, my back!" Like on day two. Like
yeah,
I don't know.
yeah.
Uh,
That was fun little health talk.
no, it's that sucks. So I hope that turns out well.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know. We'll talk about my health problems next time.
All right. Well, anyways, we did a good amount of time here.
Yeah.
I can tell when you mute yourself and then come back. It's like,
Like son of a bitch.
I should always ask a question immediately after I hear
I had to scramble there, man. Well, it sucks because when I hit I'm doing the e-cigarette thing often when I'm muting, so it doesn't
Right.
go into the mic. So like, my lungs are all shot with fucking vapor and shit.
Yeah.
Oh man, I gotta change the coil on this bad boy anyway. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see if maybe we can book Django for the next episode. I don't really know how Django's his schedule changes all the time. So
Yeah, and we can potentially get some guests on here sometime. I know people would enjoy that, so
oh, definitely.
we'll figure something out.
Yeah. So anything else we need to cover?
I don't think so. I mean, covered everything I could think of, but fucking who knows? Whatever.
No, I actually do got more stuff, but it's getting late.
Yeah, it's getting pretty late. It's 3:52 our time, so it's about that time. Anyways, this was good for this week, our first edition of this version, and probably do another one in 2 weeks or something. We'll figure something out. We'll figure out the actual schedule. I don't know. That's still something we need to figure out. Anyways, not to drag this out anymore, so
There's still more stuff to talk about, like I said, but we'll have to get to it next
we'll work
time.
on that top 10 list of superheroes and villains and stuff like that, and for next time on Dragon Ball Z. Anyways,